you looking before?
Welcome to the A Players Club YouTube channel, where you're about to get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to Europe's most successful entrepreneurs. My name is James Galligan. I am the founder of A Players Club, and you are about to listen and watch our VVIP Decade Mastermind that we recently just held in Copenhagen. In this video, we are working directly alongside our clientele to solve the bottlenecks from sales to hiring to delegation to leadership to positioning and any personal belief problems they have at scale. This is a glimpse into the standard of what it's like to be an A player. So take out that notepad and pen, and the video will speak for itself. Awesome, boys, welcome to Copenhagen. I'll give you a funny story before we started. We accidentally spent double the amount of ad spend on Copenhagen. And we have like a 3K budget for each city, and our media buyers knew, and we told them to do 20% increase, and he did 200. And so we had like an ads meeting like last week, and we should be like 6K into like ad spend of the month in total between tour and club. And we were like, bro, why is like 12.5K spent? And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, okay. But even with that, Copenhagen was still difficult to sell. It's so interesting. One of the biggest things I'm learning about touring Europe is each marketplace reacts so differently. Like in Sweden, for example, bro, everyone was like, fuck yeah, like wanting to buy tickets like right out of the gap. In in Copenhagen, there was way more like, where's this location, where's that location, where's everything, what's going on? It's a very skeptical like marketplace, but we still have 55 coming tomorrow, including some of the team, so it's still a good turnout. So appreciate you for coming here, first of all. Second of all, the number one thing I want you all to walk away with today is knowing the power of just knowing the right people. Like obviously that's the foundation that A Players is built upon. We have some members here, we have Adam, we have Emil, we have Victor, we have Christian, Charlie, and I want you guys to understand like when you're in the right rooms with the right people, your life just becomes so much fucking easier. And it's not something that you actually realize until you experience it and you feel it. And that's the experience that we want to give to you over the weekend. And what we're going to do is, any of the VIPs who want to work with us after the VVIPs, we're going to give a complimentary VVIP to any other city that you want. So let's say you want to come to Marbella, where it's going to be a bit more like, not black tie, but like boats. You have like the villa that Sheikh Mansour, Man City's owner, stays in. So that's going to be a fun experience. So you guys will get that all for free. If you do want to work with us after, you can talk to the members, whatever you want. But the main purpose of this very session is to work with Christian, myself, and ourselves to come to solutions that we wouldn't get by ourselves. So for example, we're going to go like on around on a hot seat. I know there's some business partners here, just videographers here and stuff. But what we'll do is we'll say, name industry. We'll kind of talk through a problem that we're facing right now. And as a group, we work through it together. And also Christian's going to go through some fundamental CEO principles as well. Over the last year now, next month, is when I met Christian first of all. And he's done some amazing work. I know a lot of the guys here can attest to that with us, especially around becoming a better CEO. One of the main things is a lot of us got like quite successful or built a good business to 20, 30, 50, 100 plus a month. But we don't know how to run it effectively and to do it at scale. And he's been amazing at teaching myself and some of the guys at that as well. So we're going to go through some principles along them lines. But I want to thank you all for being here, first of all. After, I want to get a picture with all the glasses and hats to send to Iman as well, because that was generous of him to send them over. So we'll do that as well. But regardless, let's give a round of applause for each other. Let's get after it. So Christian, you might want to introduce yourself, some background in regards to who you are, what you've done, yes, and then we can kind of go into a format of name, industry, and hot seat.
Let's do it. So first of all, I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to learn from you what you do in business. My name is Christian. I left school very early, with 16 actually, and I pitched Referral racing with 25 years old, and I wasn't even able to speak English. But based off that, I created a software company that now does over 200 million per year in transactions. And we created some other companies as well, luxury skincare, you name it, D2C brands. And I wasn't on social media for 11 years of my 12 years in business. So a lot of background in business. And 1 year ago, 1.5 years ago, I started to do more online. And I started to work together with people like William Brown and other people that I helped to actually scale to $1 million per month in revenue, speaking about William Brown. And today, we're going to do the same for all of you, right? So I'm happy to learn from you.
$1 million a month.
100%.
Do it.
I would say we start with you. again, say your name, what you do in business, and I would love to hear your best case too. That would be really cool. Just best case from this session, okay?
All right, my name is Tobias, and I am Frederick's creative director.
Awesome.
What is your best case for today?
What do you mean case?
Your best case outcome, something that you could learn, maybe something that you struggle with, even though if you're a creative director, because I know how it is if you work together with someone and you're the creative director and you need to get the best of the best out of this person. It's not easy always, right? Sometimes it's difficult. What is the number one struggle that you have right now in business or in the work you do?
That's a really good question. I think.
And while he's thinking about that, I'm going to ask the same to all of you too. Because if you don't know your struggle, how do you want to even fix it, right? Let me ask you a different question.
Maybe coming up with like new creative ideas.
Okay, amazing. You're next.
My name is Anton, and I do IT development. And I think the biggest struggle right now is hiring the right people. Know what people to hire and like why you would hire certain people.
Okay.
My name is Marius. We do ad creatives for e-commerce brands. I'd say the main thing that I'd like to get out from today is more clarity
Yep.
on growing the team. In terms of just growth holistically, like managing hiring while acquiring new clients and scaling existing clients, just like my overall business. It's a bit broad.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, a quick question: are you going to go like pivot in any ways toward like the AI UGC
Yeah,
model?
exactly. So it's like there's been a disruption in general with AI in terms of ad creatives for e-commerce. So I'm trying to navigate that.
Yeah, I'll connect you with a guy after who's literally just launching a like product for that, and maybe you could come together and that sort of stuff. Emil?
My name is Emil. I run an info product helping 9 to 5ers, like regular people, get into high ticket closing.
Okay.
And my main bottleneck is managing team members and also clarity on which direction to take the company.
Okay, sounds good. What about you?
So my name is Benjamin, and I run a marketing company in the US, helping kitchen and bathroom remodelers. And I run a performance-based model, and the main thing is figuring out like how can I change my B2B ad messaging to try and like attract like the top-notch clients, and then figuring out if I should only like rely on the paid ads or if I should maybe try to get them through like LinkedIn or cold email.
I'm curious, what does your perfect client look like, if you would just describe him?
Yeah, so they should be doing like ideally over $5 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you say pay per lead?
Paid per qualified appointment. And some for rev share.
Uh-huh.
So perfect client's just 5 million revenue?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that the highest LTV is coming from the ones doing like mainly above $1 million, but the higher quality clients that I can attract, the more money they can spend on ads, and the more I will make.
Okay, how many clients do you have right now?
We have around 47.
Okay, that's good. What about you?
My name is Victor. I run an info agency with Christian and two of the other guys in the middle right here. I would say our biggest bottleneck is figuring out how we prioritize our time, how we delegate tasks, what we should delegate, and yeah, overall how I can take my direction I have in my brain, which is very like strategic and commercial and stuff, and help the team with understanding the same thing
Oh,
as
yeah.
in my brain.
Oh yeah, I hear you, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest problem.
Okay.
Maybe the guys can.
I'm curious, who struggles with prioritizing his time too? Raise your arms. Yeah,
Prioritizing time.
prioritizing time. Struggling, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, my name is Nikolai, and of course I work with Vital, Matthias, and Christian over there. And my biggest struggle personally is actually having a great volume game on content, so on Instagram and so on for our clients.
Hit volume.
Yeah, great volume, like like
Output.
posting more, like more frequency and stuff like that. So yeah, we just want to like pump out more content, but still keep the quality up.
Interesting. So content output.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Adam?
Yeah, I'm Adam. I work with digital marketing and reputation management. And I'd say I have different types of bottlenecks, but hiring is definitely one of the things.
And pricing.
Yeah, finding good salespeople to be able to expand globally a lot better.
A bottleneck I'd also say for you that we can go over is I want you to have a higher LTV for your clients as well.
Yeah.
You deserve more money than what you're doing.
Yeah, that's also something. Yeah.
So pricing, yeah.
Yeah, and that comes down to like finding also the right type of clients that are willing to pay.
100%. Yeah. Marcus, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, my name's Marcus. With my business partner Charlie, we run a webinar agency for coaches. I think the biggest bottleneck that I want to know is how to manage your team effectively, how to get the most out of them, and how to know when someone's underperforming versus they're just not good enough, and you know whether or not you can salvage that.
Such a good topic.
Yeah, my name is Matthias. I think you already know that we are 4 guys working together now. I think lately we have really gotten the opportunity to properly scale the clients that we've been working with. We've spent a lot of time testing out a lot of stuff. Now we've really hit the nail on the head. And for us, it simply means that we need to output more. And I think what it comes down to is perhaps also breaking some beliefs in terms of in-house hiring, or what to outsource, or what to do through AI. We're massive in AI and work a lot with AI, but I'm sure there's much more to learn. And kind of getting a direction on how we actually increase our overall output from the team.
My name is Oliver. I have a rep bureau, and my biggest bottleneck right now is probably also managing my team members and getting them aligned with the vision I have for the company.
Next.
My name is Christian. I'm the last of the 4 guys here. I think the rest of the team actually mentioned quite well what our biggest bottlenecks are. But I would also like more about prioritizing our time, obviously, and also figuring out what to hire for, what to outsource to a third world country people, and how to kind of like figure out what to do in that regard.
Awesome.
My name is Anton, and I run a new season agency with Fred. And I think our biggest bottleneck is delegating into our employee, which we're going to put in as a partner that's going to do mainly all of the operations, and kind of how to manage him and who to give or what roles to give what person, and you're just creating a system when you're a lot of people working together and making sure like everyone knows what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. Are you English?
Also how you get him to take responsibility of the company and the shit he does. Yeah.
Are you English or Danish?
Danish.
You sound English.
Is that good?
I don't know. I'm Irish, so no.
My name's Charlie. I run Webinar Wizards with Marcus, and to add on what he said, I think that's the nail on the head for us, is knowing where we can get more out of someone, whether knowing if they're not quite at the standard we need them to be. But I think that, to put that into a longer term play for us, we need to be able to fulfill for our clients the standard that we've been able to over the past year, but at scale. I think that's where we've always fell short, is when we take on more quality dips and we end up refunding the clients because we would rather protect the long-term reputation, but we need to figure that out so we can actually go, I would say.
When you delegate, do you actually let go, or do you like?
No, I do, but I feel I let go too much.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's either like I'm all over it, or I'm like, I don't even want to know what's going on in case something's wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It's fine. We need to go out.
Fred?
My name is Frederick. I run a new season agency with Anton, and then I also have my own consulting business and consulting offer. I think it would be really great to get some more clarity on especially like scaling the agency, because it's very new to me.
and also how I play my role the best there. Because most of the clients that we get to the agency is through my brand and my content. And other than that, after doing that part, I don't know how to play my cards the right way.
What do you mean?
Like my role after bringing in the client. Because I think I can make a better case for myself there. I know Anton and Fred is really good, but I'd like more impact in the business because I really like running it.
Interesting. What sort of agency is it? New Season is a content agency? What is it? What sort of agency?
Yeah, I consult, I teach other coaches how to scale expert-led businesses.
In the New Season?
Yeah. In New Season, we take profit share and ownership, and then we do it done for you. In my consulting business, it's just tools, training, and time.
So like it's kind of like a growth op agency?
Yes, we take equity and ownership in it.
Okay.
My name is Sayer. I run an AI agency where we help companies in Denmark and North America become AI native. I think my biggest bottleneck or struggle would probably be what direction to take the company, but then also how to not just hire but also manage really good people. Right? We are very lucky to work with a lot of really good people, but it's difficult for me to manage them. I kind of can relate to what you said, Charlie. Either I over-manage or I just let go and delegate and don't even want to look at what they're doing.
Yeah. Okay. Do you like have any sort of specific like niche do you target with the AI agency?
We have, B2B and low-tech businesses because they love what we're doing. It's crazy to them what can be done. We work with companies with between 25 to 50 employees here in Denmark and North America.
I have a question.
Sure.
If a company is low-tech, do you think that they value your service as much as a company that's high-tech that just doesn't know how to do it?
Well, a company that's high-tech often thinks that they can do it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've experienced is that when we come into a company to show them what actually can be done, if they're not that high-tech, then they're like mind-blown.
Okay.
Perceived value is a lot higher.
Any specific like things that you fix? Is it more data-driven optimization of team? What's it
We don't
like?
have a specific niche.
Gotcha.
Right?
Just
Saving
find a problem.
Time is our main value proposition, right?
Time.
Time is money.
I feel like time or clarity. Like, do you like get clearer numbers, or do you try like what do you mean time?
We help them save time.
Okay,
So
in what way?
Automate manual tasks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think the biggest thing that we can go into, Chris, if you want to do like one of your like triangles and kind of go into like team management, I think the one thing I'm seeing over here again is delegation, fulfillment at scale, managing people, responsibility, delegation, and then I think we can go into like some of like the messaging, sales side of things then as well. That's good with you.
Yeah, let's do that.
Tobias, I didn't get yours actually.
I want to do one thing that we didn't do yet. I want to know from all of you, you just shared your problem, just the time span that you think it takes to fix that, okay? Does it make sense? Okay, starting with you.
A month.
A month.
Today.
Oh, I like already.
What did you say?
Today.
No, we go from the upside, right? We go from...
That's...
Is it? Okay, yeah. Okay.
You stole a fantastic answer. I was going to say today.
Don't copy his answer now.
How about this weekend?
Go. What do you?
Before end of the month.
A week.
2 weeks.
I'd say a week with the right clarity.
I'd say 2 weeks.
Yeah, end of the month.
Yeah.
1 week.
The paradigm is probably today, but implementing it and testing it will probably take, a month.
Yeah, I would also say 2 weeks because of the feedback loop.
Mm-hmm.
A week. I'd like to get more clarity this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I think hiring is probably just clarity, so probably today. But development is always ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I don't have any problems, as you can see.
So what's your problem? Sorry, you
I
skipped.
thought a little bit more about it, and I think my biggest thing would be like learning what tasks to do myself, and how to better work with Fred to, just
like roles and responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And what to delegate to editors and so on.
Yeah.
And I think maybe just like knowing what to do. So this weekend.
100%. That was one of the things that we struggled with the most, and then something that we solved and our team is so locked in with that, but it's from him, so we can definitely go into that today.
Okay. None of you guys said it's longer than 4 weeks, right? So all of you. So what you're saying is your biggest problem could be fixed probably like 4 weeks. Is this true? Okay. Who knows what to do after that? Like, what is the unleash? Or like, let's say you fix the problem, what's next? Who knows that? This is your problem. If you don't know, like this, what solving a problem causes as a next step, why even fucking solving the problem? To find the next problem. What would be the answer? What happens if you fix this?
It would be scaling up, so getting more clients.
Say it again,
It
loud.
would be scaling up, so it would be getting more clients, and then for me to focus more on one specific case as sales management and doing the same thing with my brother.
Be specific what scaling means for you.
It means, like, like numbers of clients.
Yeah.
I don't have like a specific number of clients that we want to get in.
Why?
Because I haven't gotten to that yet.
We want to be specific today, at least we try, because the more precise you are about a number or a specific outcome, the easier it is to actually get there. Right? So let's give me a number.
I'd say to get the business side of everything, making, let's say, 100K, which would take 10 clients.
Just for you guys, just that you understand it. The way he answered the question was very like, maybe this, maybe you got there this. He's not certain about it. How the fuck should your subconscious mind make progress if you're not very clear about what you want to do? And for most of you, I agree, clarity could be a thing. But you need to know what you want to achieve. Not based on a number, not specifically. But my biggest problem was, and I think this is normal for all of us, I just did something to feel productive, but I didn't really have a goal, right? So what I want to do with all of you, I want you to write down today one thing that you truly try to go after and to measure if you get closer to that. Because everything that you shared right now, let's say leadership, clarity, all of that, is probably just because you want to fix an internal feeling where you feel like you don't fulfill your full potential and you feel like, there's more in it. I know I can do better, but we need to define what that is, right? So my best case today is if you guys leave and kind of feel like, I think this thing resonates most with me. I want to accomplish X, Y, Z, whatever that is in business. Let's take William Brown. He's really obsessed with money, so the million was really his goal. You know, he's becoming a father, you know, probably he's going to charge for his wedding too and shit like that, you know. I'm serious. I'm serious. But one thing that I learned from him is, if you're laser focused on something, you can actually achieve it. This is not a motivational bullshit story here. I genuinely believe that all of you could probably be 10x more productive in what you do if you just would be more certain about what you do. Because at the end of the day, you just want to be sure that future effort won't be wasted. That's what we want. So if we can get there today, that would be good.
So I wrote down what measurement means the problem is solved. Is a really good question to ask ourselves. So let's say we say about management or roles or delegation, whatever it means. Like, what does it actually mean? Because like, we can say that, but like, what's the tangible outcome of once this is this, I have the outcome of this. That's one thing that we've become very, very good at. And clarity on what that is.
Who said he had a leadership problem? A lot of you, right? Okay, you. Let's say we fix the leadership problem today. Boom, solved. What is the next problem? What do you think?
Doing more with our time, more output to grow with high quality stuff.
What do you expect to happen once you have more output?
And again?
What do you think is going to happen once you have more output?
I think I'm gonna hit a new milestone that will teach me something that I don't currently see what is. So I'll get to a new level and I'll be exposed to some new challenge or new thing that I wasn't aware I would even need to solve. And that's how I'm gonna grow.
Okay, if you would describe your current leadership problem in one sentence, what would be the sentence?
Feeding what I have up here
Mm-hmm.
to people that I'm outsourcing to,
Yep.
and letting go.
I'll tell you what the problem is. Founders like us, it's probably applicable for all of you, we don't think from A, B, C, D. It's funny because I said the same thing in Bali on the Mastermind. We don't think from A, B, C, D. We just go A to Z. Laser sharp. We know exactly what the vision is. We skip everything. We just know how it works. But it's difficult to translate that into a vision for the team. Not because they are not able to do that, just because they don't have the same way we think about it, and therefore you need to help them to understand your vision. And how to do that is pretty simple. Are you able to explain your vision that you have right now for your business, the thing that you're trying to go after, to us, so that we understand it like in less than 3 sentences?
No, probably not.
Okay, try it. You can't fail, like literally, just try.
I think because I'm so young, the only vision I have is just to grow bigger and learn.
Yep.
I don't think I have like a tangible goal. I think vision is to learn and grow,
Mm-hmm.
to maximize my full potential,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, just never standing still.
Okay, so when you rephrase your problem one more time, you said it's hard for you to let other people know what they should do or what you want them to do.
I think it's to think and operate the same way as I do.
But how can they do it if you don't even know the vision? How do they know that they do it the right way?
Yeah, I guess I tie it more to quality output,
Oh,
like the actual work.
I love that. Okay, let's go through that. So that means probably you're not really happy with the way they work, right? Or is the quality not good? What is the thing that you feel like could be better?
I think the strong thing in our team is that we have very different skill sets. So I'm very, like my strong suit is commercial sales.
Mhm.
Christian is very much tech, just to give an example. And how can I get the other guys on the team and also the external partners that we work with to think the same way as me, because that's what most, like we are a marketing agency, so most of it is sales and marketing. And
What is the difference between your way of thinking and their way of thinking?
I think things through very much. Like I try to think of the end goal of the output of something,
Mm-hmm.
and I try to be aware of what do I need to do to create the best possible outcome.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, thinking time, preparation, context around the task to maximize the output of it.
You know what's funny? You're talking now for like 2 minutes and I still don't get the problem. So, and this is not offensive. I just say that because I really want to help you.
Yeah.
And I genuinely believe there is something that makes you feel like this, because something in the past probably happened where you felt like, ugh, if they would just think the way I do, this would be different. And I want to learn about that. When was a moment in the past when you maybe were frustrated, or when there was maybe a situation where you felt like, if everyone would just think the way I do, probably the output would be different?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's more a general thing with a lot of stuff in the business depends on me. Like I quickly become the bottleneck.
Uh-huh.
Because the guys lean on me for the vision on the commercial stuff and the marketing and the direction. So naturally when a client texts in Slack and asks for something, they wait until I reply because they think, oh, Victor probably has something to add here.
So it's more about ownership and responsibility.
Yeah, potentially you could say that.
And crazy, right? We just talk a little bit about it, we ask questions, and we find out that the thing that he said, the thing isn't really a thing. It's something deeper, some deeper layer. Probably the same for all of you too. And if you could snap your fingers and there would be the perfect person, like the perfect employee, who spawns in your team immediately, what would this person do so that you feel like this problem is solved or helps you most in your day-to-day business? And while you think about that, we're shortly going to do something that I learned from James, and this is, before I give a solution or he gives an advice, you guys get called out from us to give an advice. And we pick you guys randomly, okay? Credits, James. So, brother.
I think someone who would take more ownership on the same areas that I do, so lead the direction of like marketing and sales and overall direction for clients, because it's often me who leads the direction on we're going to do this, or we're going to take this step, or we're going to implement this new thing. And it's also because I often step forward, so the team then takes a step back and says, Victor probably has something to add.
Okay. Who has a solution for that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be maybe like adding some tangible KPIs so their vision is fit into the company's vision.
Any extensions onto that? I want more like, even if you're wrong, I want someone else to keep answering that question. This is very input inside.
I think it's a good role to have somebody in the company who is the person that kind of leads things forward. So I don't know if, because I think I have sometimes the same in our agency where I'm the one doing it, but I think that's a good role to have, that you kind of lead the revenue and the direction, and then, you know, the thing I need to be better at is how to get people to support it. But I don't think you should get people to help you on things about like sales or the commercial part, or like leading things forward. I think it's good that you have one person that can primarily do that.
I think the bottleneck is more so that that's not clear, like what he's actually solely responsible for.
Yeah.
Like I think there's like two things of thinking. Maybe Victor wants to come in on this. Maybe like have an opinion versus like, I know my team will know like, okay, well obviously a long form video doesn't get posted out me looking at it. That really like goes on my page, doesn't get posted or looking at it, but the rest is like, it's their responsibility. And maybe we can reflect once a week, but unless they learn how to do it themselves, but like they know clearly like these are the only things I want to be involved in. But I feel like for you right now, maybe it's not clear. It's like these are the only things that we need to go to Victor for. The rest, that's on our responsibility. Because I feel like right now, like you have a bunch of people kind of screening things, but bringing all the screening process to you anyway. So what's the point?
We actually sat down like a couple of weeks ago and decided who's going to take care of what, who's going to lead what departments, and it already got better. Just, you know, clients started to understand who do they go to for what, and also the internal team, like who goes, like Christian works with Matthias on tech, and Nikolai works with me on direction and content and so on.
Where is this listed down?
In an org chart or like a big document. Yeah, I could pull it up right now.
Not like a one-pager doc, but like a big mirror board.
Yeah, a bigger document. Yeah.
Okay. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, it seems like if you're driving commercial strategy for your clients as well, like that might be the tip of the spear problem for them, like solving it for them, and there might be opportunities for you to delegate other things that might just be more time consuming, especially where it's like you just go to this person for this or this person for that, because like you don't need to prove that me, I don't cut anything to that. This person might be better than me just because my energy is going towards solving something bigger for you guys. Yeah. I don't know how many clients you guys are working with either. If you're working with 50 clients, then that might be a problem, but if you're working with 3 clients.
Yeah, so to give some context, we only have 2 big clients that we focus on, which we have equity in, and that means we wear a lot of hats within those businesses, so sales, marketing, content, ops, like basically everything. And just because a lot of that is focused on how do we grow, how do we sell more. Let's say we need to do a webinar. Well, then I'm the one setting the direction for what is the angle, what is the common thread throughout the whole communication, who are we targeting, all of that. And there's all these components within a webinar that needs to be developed, such as writing the script, writing all the ads, writing all the funnel videos and DSLs. And right now everything goes through me because I always have ideas and directions and stuff like that. So I think it's also a matter of me stepping back and letting some of that go. I just have a hard time doing that because I always have an opinion on something.
Quick question. Are they coming to you with individual pieces of feedback, or is it like a reflection after one whole thing is built, the whole team sitting down and you're going through a whole thing together, or is it individual pieces? Like, do you let them finish the thing themselves before they come to you?
No, it's been a bit, we did that, yeah. It's been a big focus point lately. We actually started to do this. Me and Nikolai work a lot together on this. And Nikolai started to like put the direction together, and then we talked about that, and I was like, yeah, that's good. Then he went out and he did like, let's say, you did copy for a landing page or something, and he went back to me and he said, what do you think of this? So we have more revision round instead of Nikolai going out and doing the whole thing and coming back, and I'm saying, no, it wasn't what I had in mind, and then we got to redo the whole thing.
Just to add to that, also because the feedback loop became so long that the timeline we had was just pressured so much because the feedback loop was too slow.
Does anybody know what 131 is?
Yeah. Oh. Isn't like. Sorry, I get it. I was thinking about the other rule.
Okay. Anybody know what 131 is, or can guess what it is?
Isn't it one problem, three solutions? Something like that. Like
Yeah, it's like a Dan Martell concept of like your team. You should never give the answer to your team. You should ask questions back until they come to the answer themselves. Christian's super good at it. Like, I think the best advisors in the world never will answer your question. They'll always say, well, what do you think? Why do you think that works? And so they're actually starting to understand their own decision-making process. The problem is, a lot of people have a team, and the staff come to them, and they give them the answer, but they don't know why that's the answer. They don't understand why it's the answer. 131 is a very good framework to have of like, I'm coming to you, these are the three things I think it's work, why do you think that's going to work, which ones you don't think are going to, and they're explaining themselves. They need to understand more about the question that they're asking or the answer that they want to give. It's a good framework to help.
The reason we just laughed was because just this morning, Nikolai wanted me to take a look at something, and then I said, I took a look, I have an opinion, but these are 3 reflection questions. Go and think about it, what would you change to make it a 9? Or take it from a 9 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10? And we did exactly that, and the outcome was much better.
Good.
Nikolai found the solution like as I would have described it.
Awesome.
Just to approve of what you're saying.
Great.
Yeah, I think this is completely horrible. And I tell you why that's horrible in total. What is your business model?
We help coaches, info products scale.
Okay, what needs to happen that your client says, wow, working with these guys, 10 of 10. I would do it immediately again.
We do a 50-50% split in profit, so we basically run the whole business besides fulfillment and being the face of the brand. So someone who owns all of those areas and actually runs the business, as well as growing.
But what needs to happen so that they say working with you was the best decision they ever made?
I guess they make money and they love their life at the same time.
So it's simple to work with you guys. You create results, and probably you're easy to work with. Cool. Let's say you're the best of the best. We just assume that. They are the killers. Everything that you do, you can draw a container on a blank paper, and everything inside of this container is your product. So when I hear stuff like landing page copy, or webinar, or I'm creative, I feel like, yeah, fuck, it's super generic, right? A webinar is a webinar, period. Landing page is a landing page. The inside changes a bit from client to client, but at the end of the day, it's just a vehicle to get to this result that we just talked about, right? So you're probably really good in being creative and taking the individual client and say, this works really good for this client, right or wrong?
Yes.
Okay, so staying in your creative zone probably means that you get to this result fast. And if people coming to you, interrupting you, asking questions, it destroys your flow.
Yeah, very true.
Aha. It's so crazy, guys. I mean, it's fucking business, you know? It's no rocket science, right? Let's do a thinking experiment here. I love to say that because imagine you would go in jail. For 4 weeks, you're not allowed to talk to us. You're gone, behind bars. but you just signed this amazing client, the one where you know you can make it work. But your team can't talk to you anymore. You're just allowed to write everything that you think is true down on a one-pager. What would you write down, and who would you give it to?
Like, what do you mean specifically with writing down?
Let's say you have this amazing client and you know if you just create everything for him, he's going to skyrocket. But you can't be the one who is creative. You can maybe think about it a little bit, but then someone else has to do the work. You just can push him in the direction.
So like write a brief?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just let's say there's a fitness guy, whatever.
Where should I start?
Start by the most important thing. It's like a very tiny page, you know. You don't have that much space.
I would write a brief around like general communication and direction for that client.
Why?
Because I think that's the backbone and foundation of everything we do downstream from that.
Okay, so your actual job is to make sure that your client is seen the way he should be seen from the audience.
Yeah, you would say that.
Aha. So that means the most crucial part in your business is not messing that up. To make sure that the way you portray the person or everything around the brand is accurate to the way you see the person, right? Or wrong?
Yeah, like that we communicate to the people that we should be communicating to and we position ourselves correctly.
To the client or to your client's client?
To our client's client.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have an example in mind where this didn't work or where this really went south? Have this ever happened before?
We just took on a new partner, and previously his biggest problem was that his communication was all over the place. So what we did was we dialed all that in, and we're starting to see results early on already just from doing that change.
How did he feel after that?
Even though we haven't like gone to the moon yet, he still feels very, very comfortable with us, because we dial in the whole backbone and foundation of the business.
Cool. So what you actually do is you decrease the speed to confidence.
Yeah.
Cool. How confident are you in your own work?
I'm very confident, but I'm also aware that I'm never the smartest.
That's cool. That's okay. So back to our thinking experiment. We have this page. Now we make sure that confidence is taken care of. What is one other thing that will land on this small paper? And you can do that for yourself, guys.
You mean one thing I would pass on to the team for succeeding with that client?
Yeah, so you just wrote one thing down. There's space for one more thing. Before you go in jail and trying to survive the 4 weeks.
The road to the goal, I think, yeah.
Would it be easy for you?
Yeah, fairly easy. Yeah.
Cool. This is your genius zone in what you do right now. If you have your business and you speak about roles and ownership, that's the only thing that you should own most of the time. And if you see that on a very generic level, that's actually the most crucial part, because it's, if you mess this up, the rest is messed up too. So your work in the beginning is very, very important. Good. That's great. This is, by the way, something that I would take care of if I would be you, that my time that I spend on that is very protected. Plus, I probably, like, does clients come to you or you go to them? Like, you reach out proactively, or?
Like the way our model works is we don't have a ton of clients and we don't necessarily need more, because we're so invested and involved in the businesses that we work with.
Yeah.
We have a profit share, so we just focus on growing that, and that grows our business.
But would you say that you're really good in scouting right people? That you could tell this, okay. This is, by the way, something that I would write down too as an additional offer. Because if you could predict that someone is really going through the roof, they just do it the right way. Good. Now for everyone, finding out your genius zone. And it's funny, right? We got there because he thought he had a leadership problem. Now imagine back in jail, you have this paper. Do you believe that your team can fulfill the work without you?
Yes.
It's a good thing. Let's say they did. 4 weeks are in, you survive jail, and you come out, but you're not allowed to talk to your team. You're only allowed to check on one number. What is the first number you check on the client?
My first instinct is how much money we're making. But
Okay.
that just isn't necessarily accurate for how, like, if we're going in the right direction. Because we could be making a lot of money right now, but then the next month it would all come falling down.
Yeah, but that's a future problem.
Yeah.
So the indicator of success is obviously revenue. Ta-da! So that means if you do a good job on those first two skills, you should see that reflected in revenue, correct? Cool, then you have the start point and the end point of your client's journey. And everything in between that interferes with that or like interrupts the workflow needs to be adjusted. You need to see that as almost like if I go to McDonald's and I order a burger, the way until I get my burger is probably almost the same in every McDonald's place over the world. And you need to create this process for your own product. And it doesn't matter if it's landing page, webinar, it's speed to confidence, plus a reflection of that in revenue. And if you start to treat it as such, plus you focus more on your genius zone, you probably have also like a shitload of content that you could do because you now can say, oh, this is important, this is important, this is important, and you're feeling like, oh my God, that's really something that I want to talk about because this is me.
Yeah, like I've been wanting to create content for a long time, but it's just always getting deprioritized because I'm too busy with clients. And because the clients are so much work to us, I kind of use it as an excuse of like, oh, it still brings the money more business, right? Rather than focusing on personal brand or higher leverage tasks. But I think the thing I'm finding difficult is just when we're only 4 people and we are so heavily involved in the businesses that we partner up with, how can I ever free myself completely from the operations?
Here we go again. What do you think is the answer to that?
It's a similar problem to the one that we're having, so I'll say it as a perspective. But I would say, what are you optimizing for in the short term, and what are you optimizing for in the long term? Because I think content and stuff is a longer term play, whereas making sure your clients are getting results now and next week is making sure everything's running smooth in the short term. And I guess it's just like, also, if I were to ask, and I asked this because I asked myself this the other day, and the answer was no, is like, do you genuinely think you have no time to make any content whatsoever? Not even like half an hour, a minute for a reel. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, is it, that's what I would say. It's like short term versus long term. Like client, obviously work needs doing now, personal brand long term, and could you actually find time to do it?
I think we're maybe back to the vision question of, do I really want to focus on building like our own offer, or do I want to focus only on the client's offer? And I have so much conviction in those 2 clients that we're working with that they can scale so big, so that as a byproduct we'll also scale so big. So do I focus on our own thing or our clients? And then I come back to, if I focus on the clients, then it's okay I'm involved in operations, because that is growing our own business.
Do you feel like you would be a better supplier, or you would be better as a person if you would understand the other side too? So they do content probably, right? Yeah. Don't you think it's helpful to understand?
In front of the camera, yeah, for sure.
So you don't do that to become super successful. It's more like, if you can talk about the process of recording content, which is it's a journey, guys. I record my first reel like 7 hours hidden in my home, being afraid of speaking English. Then I uploaded it, and I thought, yeah, go viral. Spoiler alert, it was only 3 views or something. And it's very healthy to go through this process, because it makes you more credible the next time when you talk to your actual client.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was about to say.
And you know what's funny? It increases your speed to confidence. Because to deliver the best result for your clients, you said in the beginning you want to learn, you want to get better, then this is definitely part of it. And if you see it through this lens, it's easy for you, because otherwise you try to make it work and try to make it right, and then you start to do the same thing for yourself that you do for your clients, but that's not the goal. It's only about you getting better at it, not for the purpose of scaling a business. What do you think?
I think you're smarter than me, so.
No. No. We are a good team, actually. I learned a lot from James, too. You guys don't really see that, because most of the time people just come to the event, they experience that, they see that, they like it, they see the little details, but they don't see the back side of it, which means, I don't know if you know, but he just developed an app like this to host the events, all box. And probably he did that because he sat down and he thought about, okay, what would be the maximum 10x move here? If I'm going to host the events anyways, if I'm going to do this, yeah, then probably I should do this too. And when I asked you, what is your vision? And you couldn't answer that. It made me realize that you probably are operating on 30% of what you actually could do, because you're good in defining the circumstances for someone who already knows his vision. Imagine what would happen if you allow yourself to have a vision too, to then frame the perfect container for that. Having a vision is not about like motivational shit of like, oh, I wake up in my Lamborghini. No, it's just to create the perfect setup that you can operate on your top level. Because most of the time it's easier for us to do the work for our client as it is to do the same work for ourselves. That's because they are certain about what they want to do, or at least they know their business. It's very clear. But for yourself, you talk, negotiate, like this inner conversation. And therefore we started this today and talk about like, what is the thing that you like to solve? What is the problem? And everyone said it's like a between 1 week to 4 weeks kind of problem. Merry Christmas, guys, if you work 4 weeks on the wrong problem. You didn't move the needle at all. You just try to stay busy in your business.
I feel like the vision part is so important as well, because like you can get so caught up in your day-to-day, like micro problems that you think are problems that just aren't problems if you just know your vision.
And let me say one thing to that. The way you described that was fantastic. I generally believe you're really good at what you do. The way you framed your question, the way you talked about it, the time that you spent on thinking about the answer, and also that you identified the two things, like, I really believe that you're good in what you do. And it would be interesting to do the same exercise with everyone in your team and then create this vision together of how can we learn, like all of us learn, make progress, make money, but also get the best outcome for our clients. And now we start to talk about, do we have a business or do we have a hobby? And when I see you, I think you have a business. So, what do you think is the first step that he should do, the first action, when he comes to his office Monday morning after talking to us beautiful people?
He's going to be hungover on Monday.
And again, there's no wrong answer. I would never laugh, and Brainstorm is like, we do that to give you the chance to find ideas. Never ever someone was laughing about that. And if someone would laugh about that, I promise you guys, that's not going to happen. So everyone can try. We want to get better at it. So what's the first thing that pops to your head?
Well, hopefully, he has learned a lot this weekend. So first thing when he starts on Monday, he should really look into things he has set for himself. That this new thing I've learned, this new routine or whatever, this should be implemented.
Yep.
And we're starting that now. And after he's done that, maybe he will, talk with a team to make sure that they also are in line with the new things they've been thinking about or deciding.
Yeah, I love that. What do you think?
I think you should realign with all the departments and figure out what they actually want to do.
Say it again.
Realign with all the departments and figure out what you actually want to do.
I'd make a decision, like rather to launch your own offer or not, and just get clear on that, because I think like those kind of decisions, they feel like more mental space than you like would think in your day to day. Like getting clear on, okay, are we going to focus on these 3 offers? Are we going to do this, all that? Or like just like, what is the plan? You're really trying to plan.
There's a guy called, his name is Boone Pickens. He's this guy from the US. He's like a CEO of this capital venture firm called B2B Capital or something. And he has this quote. He said, like, if your end goal is the elephant, don't go off the track chasing the rabbit, something along that lines. And it's so easy to chase a rabbit every day when you don't know what the elephant is. And for us with the company, like, there's so many things that come to our plate that we're like, if the end goal is this, it's just a waste of time. Even though it could be good in the short term, it's just a waste of time to even like give it attention or create problems around it or whatever it is. Just like let it go. I think it's everything looks like an opportunity when you have no strategy. It's like one quote that my mentor gave me. It was really good.
And one more thing. In the beginning you said, if my team just would think a little bit more the way I do, that would be good, right?
Yeah, in some areas.
Good. Imagine you doing content is just a camera that films you while you explain to your team why the 2 skills you just shared with us that you're really good at are so important, and what the difference is between like doing it on a top level and doing it on a low level, because then they start to understand.
I always get this imposter syndrome in creating content, because I feel like who would listen to this, but I forget that there are people who were where I was 6 months ago, and the way, like the times where I feel the most authentic and where I explain something or teach something is when I'm like on coaching calls with the team, how the sales team are like our internal.
Then film this. Create like it's all about containers. Create a container where you're in your genius zone, you're doing your thing. If you go on my Instagram and you check on the reels, all you see is like me being in speeches like this, because I'm not made for scripts, man. I'm really bad at that. And I really tried a lot of stuff when it comes to content. And at some point I just realized for now I just need to create an environment where I feel like really comfortable and good, because I love business and stuff like that, but I need to be surrounded by the right people. Therefore, nothing but love for you, James. You should do the same, because content is actually not about the other people. It's about yourself first. If you don't feel good, your content means shit. And imposter syndrome is the biggest hoax. Anyway, it's the same if I would say, let's say I would be overweight and I would be super fat. And I would say, oh, when I go to the gym, I'm really exhausted. Yeah, it's part of it, you know. I don't need to find a name for that. I don't need to find a label for that. It's just part of the journey. Just forget about it. Seriously, because you're the type of person, I bet, if you would have your YouTube channel, I would subscribe. Just by the way you talk about that, I would know I gain wisdom and value from that. I'm serious. Yes?
I think this is said with all due respect, Victor, but I think before you align with your partners, I think you should align with yourself. I think in my first business, I had 14 employees. And I would also go to events like this, and I would read books on leadership. But I had to realize that if I couldn't even lead myself, I probably couldn't lead others. So I let the whole thing go, and then now I think I'm a much better leader to Toby and a better partner to Anton, because I'm better at leading myself. And I think the resistance that you're feeling towards content is because you don't know where you are going and if you deserve the content and the recognition that comes with it. So I think before you align with Christian and the team, like really align with yourself and look yourself deep in the mirror, and that's gonna be a hard look. And then everything else will probably fall into place. It did for me.
Can you share?
In what way did you action that to get clarity for yourself?
I think I had to go through it many times, and the frustration, and then I would always point fingers at other things, like it was my business partner Jeppe, or it was also a bad salesman, or It was also this, but then I had to flip the finger around. I think I just came to a point where I wasn't proud of myself anymore with the actions that I did every day and what I was building and going towards. Yeah.
It's misalignment most of the time to your core values. It was a really good advice.
Yeah, and I agree because I think I fill my head with too much stuff, and I need to get clear on, again, as you said, my genius zone, and then only prioritize that.
Yeah, bro, you're definitely an overthinker.
Yeah.
I know that about you.
Which is good. Don't change that. It's probably the reason why you get the results for your clients. It's nothing bad about the thing that makes you good. Just skip that part too. Don't hate yourself for something that makes you good. I'm full on an autism spectrum, man. I can't, like, when you see me on huge events, I always hide from people. This is why I'm always next to James somewhere, or Casey, or Colin. Like, but I'm fine with that, because I know there are people who are surrounding there where I really like to be, right? No one is calling me out for that. So you need to have the right surrounding or setup, because what is overthinking for you is probably what makes you so good in your work. And you need to start to love yourself. That sounds weird as fuck, but it's true. Just accept the way you are, man, you know? Who can relate to that, to what he said? Who can relate to that he overthinks sometimes? Spend time on something that you really know you're good at. Because chances are high that you don't overthink that. Because you just do the thing. And if you would understand how much time you waste per day, per week, per month, trying to fix the wrong problem, you would be upset. And your job is to become more aware of that. So let me say one more thing, and in leadership, what you actually want to do is just create a list, a very basic list. It can be an Excel list, whatever. And every time sometimes comes to you and asks for something, or they say, oh, can you just check on this, or can you have a look on that? Write it down. And at the end of the week, you're going to check in on the thing that popped up most of the time. And then you're going to create a process for that, so that they don't need to come to you because you fucked up. You're obviously smart. Yeah, they just go to the person that probably knows the answer. We can't blame them for that. So you need to create a space or a place or some way they get the information without asking you. And this is something that you can literally overthink. What is the best way that they get the best result or the best value for their questions?
I remember I read this book that's like, you have like 4,000 weeks in total of your life. And in it says, if you're the person that always responds the fastest, they will always go to you whenever there's a problem, because they know you're the first one to respond. So don't even bother going to the other ones, because Ian Fred's other partner isn't the best at answering messages, so they don't bother like writing to them, because they know they're not going to respond, so they always go through me. And one thing that I did was just I started responding a bit slower, and they started actually going to the source instead of just going to me every time. We'll try that as well. Just give room for them to do it as well.
I think trying to productize, like for instance, the webinars a bit more would be a good idea. So like basically mapping out the whole customer journey from like what chain of actions need to happen to make it successful, and then like record it and walk them through your thought process. Because then the next time you can kind of like iterate what their like suggestions are, and then over time you get better and better, because that will allow you to then have more time for make content, get more partners, and then you will actually be doing your partners a better service by having more webinars to run in more different cases, because your product will be even better.
Yeah, makes total sense.
I'd like to go a bit towards like the acquisition side of like Benjamin's B2B messaging. I know the AI stuff. Just like I'd say something to do with that stuff.
You can rock it, brother.
No, I was saying you should probably go.
He's really good at that. He just, yeah.
I have a question in regards to the B2B acquisition. Right now, what do you do?
Yeah, so I spend a lot of money on Facebook and Instagram ads. And then after actually reflecting, I think I want to obviously sign better clients, but I think it's more an excuse for not stepping out of sales. So like you're trying to justify like that action to be like such high leverage that I can't outsource it.
What do you mean?
So the reason I feel like I can't outsource sales is because the way the model works is, for instance, I spend like 22K a month, and then I sign like 10, 15 clients that pay me 2K upfront for enrolling, and then from there, everything that goes in for the qualified appointments are going to be like profit. And the thing is then, if I have a closure, then I'm going to like not basically breaking even on the front end because I need to pay the closure. One thing I could do though is then increasing my enrollment to like 2,500, but then it's still like 10% of that is just not great. And then I try to, then like when I think about it, I try to justify, oh, it's actually really high leverage reaching these big companies, building relationships, but I feel like I need to outsource that part to get to the level where I want to get to.
Okay, what do you think the answer to your question is then?
Yeah, I need to figure out a way to hire a closure and still make it kind of profitable on the front end.
I would say the only thing you need to get out of your brain is that's not the point of the first month. Like your point of the first month is make sure that the closer has every single thing that he needs to have the best chance of making the second month profitable. Like the first month of hiring, I always look at like a hire in a way of like, okay, if it costs me 3K a month, it better make me back like at least 6 or 9. But I also know that there's that process, like a threshold where it's like it's probably going to fall below because they need to learn. Or you're going to hire a killer to come in, you're going to pay him a bit more. He's going to bring in more cash up front because he knows how to close better or form the deal in a better way. I think you're just looking at it from the wrong lens.
Yeah, I mean something that I've thought about as well is maybe actually having a closure that could get like a percentage of the recurring revenue, because then I don't basically, like if I could just go like break even and then obviously profit from the appointments afterwards, that would be the dream scenario. But it's figuring out like how I can make that happen in the best possible way.
So there's two ways about it. Either obviously you bring in an average closer, you don't have to like see very, very close to them, or you bring in a very, very good one that you're going to incentivize quite well. But I don't mean incentivize quite well by like raising the percentage in the front end. I just mean by that percentage in the back end of like, I'm going to pay somebody. So for example, like our closer, I always talk about like for our company, we always aim for like a 70% margin. And what I mean by 70% margin is like, margin can go below that, but only on incentives. Like my base margin needs to be something. Because like too many people pay too high on the upfront, and then like without incentives for your team to actually. So I think the question a lot of you asked was like, how do I get the most out of my people? And so let's say whatever your business is, I always aim for like 70% for us. So for example, my team cost could be like, let's say if I make 100K, team costs are going to be 30K, and like it can go below this, but only if I earn like 120. Then my margins can slip a little bit because my team is incentivized to hit certain targets, because when I hit certain targets, I earn more money, so my thingy can go lower, if that makes sense. What I'm saying with you is like, people often, for example, my sales manager came in, he was a 4K month base, he was also taking a few sales calls, but he built Emma Gazzi's 18K consulting.com offer, he built William Brown's high ticket offer, Ashton Hall, Brad Go. He's a fucking killer. He should be getting paid a lot of money. But he was like, my base cash at that point was like 80K a month, and he came in and it was 4K base, and then it was like at 100K it was an extra like 2%, 120K was 2%, whatever it was paid out over percentage targets, and we hit 185 cash the next month after. Because I was taking the sales calls, I let go, and it was scary as fuck to let go, but I incentivized them correctly to hit certain targets. I think too many people think, how can I optimize a shit person versus how can I just incentivize a good person?
Yeah.
And also, you can't scale your business enough if you only do Facebook ads.
Huh?
You only do Facebook ads.
Yeah.
But I would also like argue like email could be like a profitable acquisition funnel if you had time to actually put yourself into it. I would also say you could form referral partnerships with agencies that also work with local businesses. So for example, a web development agency could have $200 a month recurring amount with like 100 clientele, and if you went to him and said, I'm going to pay you 25% of the first month of a referral based partner, you're going to be getting partners like given to you by a bunch of different agencies that like you're not giving yourself the space to like build the web. And a Charlie Munger quote is, business is built on a seamless web that deserves trust. And so like you have one angle right now and it's just you, whereas like you need like the email, to this, to that, and you need to be able to like let go more and incentivize the right talent is what I would say.
Yeah, and it would also be basically easier to pay the sales rep for, you know, getting client through email because there's not that much going into it.
Email costs fucking nothing. Email's so great if it's done correctly. Yeah. What other problems did we have at the very beginning? So, Charlie, talk to us about what's going on with you.
So me and Mark will both contribute on this because we both see it in the same way. But we made our first like proper hire, who was a copywriter, and with the webinar campaigns, a massive proportion of the success is down to the copy, right? It's advertising, it's the landing pages, it's the emails that gets them to show up, it's the webinar that converts them eventually. So the copywriting is a huge lever, and our copywriter is a great copywriter, but because we've never properly managed someone before, we don't know whether to stick or twist with him. And what I mean by that is he's not performing at the levels we believe he could perform at. So it's not the levels that we think like, oh, well, if we were to do this, we'd be able to do this much, or it would look like this. It's like, no, it's like, we know he is capable of more, but we don't know how to either like push that out of him or cut our losses and just go this way.
You could maybe have opinions on this. One thing we always try to do that like gives us clarity in this is we always try hire in twos. It's very difficult to hire in singles because they have no like comparison of what to work off of, no incentive to work harder, and no comparison for you to recommend. Like to see like, okay, well, obviously you're outstandingly good at webinars, and so like obviously you probably have certain expectations, but like is that expectation even fair in the first place? Hire in twos. What would you also say in regards to like obviously first hire, optimizing that first hire, or whether he should just like sack and move on, hire fast type of stuff?
I mean, it's interesting. You say your copywriter is a really good copywriter.
Yeah.
Yet you said he could be better, or like.
It's his output. So in terms of quantity, so quality wise, fantastic at low scale. As soon as client gets signed and we need to produce 30 ad creatives, over 50 emails, you know, all the whole bells and whistles, it then drops and we find ourselves having to go back in. So it's just I would love to know what it's like first hire, it almost feels like combat sports where you can watch boxing, you can learn all about it, and then you get hit in the face and you forget it all. It's like I've watched so many of your videos about it, what we should have done, you know, even in the hiring process before he even came on. But we got punched in the face and forgot it all. And now we're kind of like losing the fight and don't know how to win the later rounds.
But what is the reason he stops performing after the client gets signed?
So it's maintaining his quality at scale, I would say, Christian. So, for example, if I were to give him a day to write a phenomenal video sales letter, he'd be able to do it. But if he then needs to write a video sales letter and an email sequence, the overall quality drops. Mark, I don't know if you have anything else to contribute around this, because you speak to Galligan.
Yeah, it's not just that, it's not just the quality drops, it's like, maybe this is on us, but he sets a lot, when he's doing his own thing, like he sets a lot of his standards, so we need him to do X sequence, and he says, right, I think I can get this done. And when he's got multiple things to do, he always sets himself really low standards and then doesn't even reach those standards at all. So we need a sequence doing, we need a set of emails doing, and he thinks he can do it in X amount of days, and then he doesn't even reach it in those days. It takes him longer than he said it would take him.
But when was the last time you taught him on the thing that you criticize him for?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
And what did he say? What did he say? Say it again?
He took it on board.
He took it on board?
Yeah, yeah.
No response, nothing? Right.
Another example is like last week he produced 2 emails a day And was like,
This is hypothetically, right? He didn't really spend 2 days on an email text. Like maybe I'm wrong, but like,
sequence, I think.
Yeah, that's fine. But like, I feel like this is really long. Like compared to what I'm used to, I feel like this is, it's like, it is a really long time. Isn't
My
it?
question is, does he get paid regardless of the output?
yeah,
I think that's the problem.
yeah,
Like when I talk about the 70% margin base, I mean like, let's say for example, the basic expectation would be the one VSL, right, at whatever sort of quality. But okay, and then his base should probably be set around whatever that like the ROI of that would be. But like there should be an incentive for the overachieving. Like this would be great. This is good. This is like shit, which means get them out. But I feel like if I was to get paid based on like, regardless if it gets done or not, I'm chilling too.
Yeah, and this is something that I've been thinking about. So how do you, to James and to Christian and to anyone else, how do you incentivize deliverable-based work? So for example, what I mean by that is incentivizing a closer is quite easy because they are producing new revenue. Whereas we have a client that we sign and we need 40 emails. Do you incentivize on speed? If you incentivize on speed, do you then sacrifice quality? If you optimize for and incentivize for quality, it's just how do you incentivize a deliverable-based role?
I would always measure the time to whatever, let's say time to delivery. Because again, if you take it as a standard process, then creating the email sequences, blah, 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 can be done in X amount of time. And I would just tell them, if you get a percentage of like 90% of the time you hit the timing, you get a bonus. Yeah, it's always the same. You can give people, like on a lower end, just a fixed bonus. And on C-level management or overall in the team, what you want to do is like you give them a percentage of gross margin. Period. Like, because if everyone gets something from the big cake, so to say, they move. But in this case, I'm surprised, to be honest, because if I would work with someone and he would tell me, oh yeah, I need a day, but then he didn't finish it in a day, I would be like, oh, okay, why? It's almost like raising a child. Like I would be like, what was the reason? Because if you let it slip over and over again, why the fuck should he even change?
I think the root cause is exactly what you just said there, and it's that it happened too many times in the beginning and we didn't correct the behavior.
And just to make me understand the thing, right? He's good in copy.
Yes.
But then to set up the email sequences, it takes him very long. Is it because he just don't have fun doing it? Or is like, what is the thing that takes him so long? Did you ask him that?
So, I would say, just for a little bit more context, let me give you an example of a project he was working on, how long he took to do it, and why I think he took that long. So, with the webinars, which is what we do, if somebody misses the webinar, the chances of them sitting down for 2 hours and watching the replay of it in their own time is almost zero. People don't even watch films anymore. They're not going to watch our bloody webinar on a replay, right? So we wanted him to create a 20-minute video that was almost like a summary, a condensed summary of that webinar.
Yeah.
Now, with something like that, the quality of it, if done correctly, could pay us in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months, in 4 months. It could unlock a whole new stream of revenue for us as a business. Because now we can't just make our clients money with webinars, but we can also produce them an extra sales asset that helps them make even more money, which helps them be more
100%.
profitable. So that was the core idea of the project he was working on. Now, he took about a week to do this. And in my mind, I was letting it slide because I was thinking, do you know what? If he does it right, it'll be worth it. And that's, I feel like, where I struggle to give him feedback, because I'm just thinking like, right, if I give him an extra day on it, how much better would it be?
So you outsource the thing that you think is gaining extra money for your client, this genius idea that you had, you just outsource it to the copywriter.
Yeah.
You never did it before?
No, but it's a video sales letter. It wasn't anything it was more the strategy behind it than the actual asset. It wasn't like we were building an app.
Just a different question. We had a lot of people talking about AI here. I'm a huge fan of software development too. Don't you think like this process could be like literally done by an AI to 95% in almost like, I don't know, 2 minutes?
Yes, Oh, it could, but because copy is such a big part of the, so I'm trying to. If that video sales letter had been written with AI, it's like the difference between it being 80% good and 100% good isn't 20%. It's huge.
Yeah, but if you have a good copywriter, the copywriter can train the AI on what is good, what is bad.
Yeah.
So I would probably spend his time on developing the thing, like, or training the thing on what is good, what is bad, and I would argue, bro, I probably need less than an hour. Give me this copywriter and I create a tool where the output is always good. Like, you just need to understand how to do it. And maybe he's just like not really motivated to do the work this way. I understand your problem, don't get me wrong. The basic answer to that is either you're a bad role model and he doesn't know how he should approach that to you guys, saying like, oh, I'm behind, I don't know why, or I feel like that's a culture thing. If I would have someone in the team and he's like telling me it takes a day and it didn't took a day, the person would already come to me saying like, it was because of this and because of this, because I've trained him on that. It's just basic behavior. And I would never say, oh yeah, you get an extra day, because I want to understand why that happened. And I actually was very happy when you said, we have a copywriter, he's a really good copywriter. I was like, that's cool. But then you said, but we think he can like get to a higher like percentage of like this, he even more like tapping into his potential. So what you're actually saying is that you want him to fulfill ideas that you know could work very well. And I think you need to change the approach on how to apply, like it's not really about hiring, it's more like the idea is great. It's almost like if you have a vision, how to translate it to the team. But from everything you said, I feel like first of all, I would change the way you create this result. Because if you let him train the AI on this was good, this is bad, we did that. We can write an entire magazine in like, I don't know, 5 minutes with AI. And I had the same conversation in my team. They were like, no, we need to write that by ourselves, it's high luxury, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no. If someone in this room knows what good looks like, then you can teach the AI what good looks like, and it can do it again and again and again. And after many iterations, it understands. So first of all, I would do that. Then I would probably take this guy and I would just, if he would be here, I would just ask him, why the fuck did it take so long? And he would probably say, because it's super boring, or I don't know, because maybe he couldn't even measure if good is good, or if maybe he didn't even understand what he was doing. I don't know, but like, this is, if you tell me he's good, but on the other side, he's not good at this, I'm trying to defend him, saying like, give him a chance. Because if you feel like he's good, keep him. It's not about hiring in this case. Like, hiring is always pain. It's never going to change, period. You can be lucky and find the right person, or you just mess it up. I think hiring people is unpredictable, because you only find out when you start working together, and then it takes time. You can get better at it. Hire slow. That's actually different to what most people think. I would say hire slow, fire fast. I'm very slow with hiring. I learned that the hard way, because most founders have at least one person in their team that they actually would want to fire, but they don't do it. I was one of them. Maybe you guys feel the same. Because it's very hard to fire a person, because it's kind of like admitting you were wrong, admitting you were failed, blah. It's such an emotional process in the beginning. At one point you just say, okay, it doesn't work, this is why, da 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 da. But therefore, I feel like you have a great person, probably a great product. I would just rethink that. And at the end of the day, it's almost like raising a child, or, sorry to say that, like a dog or something. If you say no, then it's no. If you say it takes it, or if he says it takes a day and it took longer, he needs to explain it to you. It's culture. And I don't know, I just like the way you talked about him. Probably I would just tell him, hey, you're really good in copywriting. Why does it take so long if you do that? What is different? And again, I would use AI.
I think I can speak from experience, because I have Toby, right, and he's a creative director. He's expected to deliver a set of deliverables, so there's no incentive for him, right? Unless with a closer and a setter, if they make money, they get commissions, so they're incentivized to work harder. And I think I've done two things with Toby that I think both of us are happy about. It's that I don't do sales calls and sell everything via chat. So with pure logic, it's that the better content we do and the more people understand the philosophy and then buy. So I think Toby is now on a 2% profit share. So he knows that when the business grows, and that's the vision we have together of my brand grows, makes more money, 2 million a year, Toby can do his own math on the 2% that he'll be getting if we reach the goal. But then I think I also spend a lot of time, of course, talking about my company and what we're trying to achieve with my brand, but I also try to incentivize Toby to tell him every day about the case that he's building for himself. Like he's 22 years old, right? And I'm trying to give him all the resources in the world so he can build my brand the biggest and best as possible, so that in 3 years, when he's around my age, he can go out and do things that he wants to do and that he has the skill set for. So I think both a base for the deliverables and then an incentive that makes sense in your case and your personal numbers, and then also figuring out what is his vision and what the hell, why is he writing emails and why is he a copywriter? And if it's internally reviewed, and create a roadmap where he can jump the ladder and then maybe get his own copywriter and then control, or get his own key account manager role with clients. Or so I think there's two incentives, because that was my main thing with Toby. I was used to the sales team, where it was very easy. Right? You get 10% of sales, make more money, you get a bigger paycheck. And Toby works on the weekends now.
I agree. I would say email is like one of the most talented skill sets there is in the game, because it's like written sales, and like I think for someone to be good at that, they naturally have to think about like brand psychology, like, and why do they think like that? I think it's a very good question to ask them, like, why are they obsessed with copy?
Yeah.
Like, why do you like copy?
Because I like the feeling of unpacking a really complicated idea, like a sale. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why does someone join A Players Club? There's so much to it. Do you know what I mean? There's so much to it. I couldn't even tell you why I joined. There's so much to it. And it's like unpacking that and giving it back to the market I find it very satisfying.
In a repeatable way. I like that. Yeah.
That's really useful. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, James.
100%. Any questions based on the current topics that we've talked about, from the hiring vision, roles, delegation, incentives, sales processes, etc.?
I can give a brief on our situation. So we want to pivot spending more time on one specific client because we see very big potential in making shit ton of money on that one. So we still have this main agency pillar, which is our cash flow, which is the fitness coaching, where we help fitness coaches. And we have one primary...
In Denmark?
Yeah. We have one primary employee that we want to do all of the operations for that. And we're going to get him on right now we're paying him like a flat fee. We're going to take him down on a bit of the less flat fee and then pay him a 10% profit share. And then
Pay who, sorry, 10% for profit share? An employee?
Yeah.
Who?
We want him to become a partner, so you will be the main manager of all the fitness clients, where we will consult on the sales and the ads, but he will be operating it, so to say.
Yeah.
What we're trying to figure out is what that looks like. How do you actually go from this has been the thing you've done for the past year and a half, and then getting somebody else to do it. What's the best practices to actually do that conversion?
Look, can I just go back a couple of steps, because I was writing down, so I kind of missed a bit. So you're trying to focus on one client right now. Is he a fitness client?
No.
What's the industry is he in?
Property.
Which?
Property.
And the guy that you want to give 10% partnership to is currently focused on what?
He's a bit of loose and tired. He makes sure that we give him kind of the task that we don't want to do. That's how we kind of use him.
So he's a VA.
We had some shitty clients in the start. We had some shitty clients in the start where we just fucking loaded him with the shitty clients. They were paying us some good money, but we just wouldn't touch them with gloves
stick.
on, because there was just shit work. And now we want to take him from offloading shit onto him to him actually becoming like partner in the business, because we know he can do good, but it's been like a funny ramp-up process, and how we now will pivot into him becoming like the person responsible for the operations of the good clients.
Okay, what do you think the problem is?
Huh?
What do you think the problem is?
I think there's two problems. I think it's, for us, it's lack of it's probably not being good enough. You know, the copy he's writing for the ads isn't good enough. The ads he's producing isn't good enough.
But why choosing him in first place?
I think he can become good. I think they are like hanging on the trees, finding really good operators, and I think he can definitely become one. But we haven't really trained him that well.
And you want to give him 10%?
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Because we just don't want to. I think it's like an offloading thing. We want to spend more time on this thing right here, but we still have this that gives us really good cash flow, but we don't really want to touch it. So I thought, you know, by us giving him percentages and incentivizing him, he can manage that so we can focus on this other thing, but without killing it.
Why does it need to be him?
Because
he understands like your company and stuff.
Yeah, he understands the company. He's also decent at what he does, but I think he's not as good at it as us, obviously.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah.
I'm completely confused.
Yeah, I'm confused too.
I'm like
so. What?
You might have a talent problem.
Yeah.
A what problem?
Talent.
Talent problem. I mean, the hard thing is.
Now let's ask different questions.
Yeah.
What was the idea in the first place? When was the moment you were sitting there and saying like, oh, there's this property guy. Let's take the guy who's not good, give him 10%, and everything is going to be good.
No, they're going to go.
It's going to be a shitty client at the start, but then we did a webinar and we made a good amount of money on it, and I think we can make a lot more money on it.
So you saw an opportunity.
Yeah.
Walk us through. What happened?
I'm not going to go into the specific numbers, but we had this client we worked with for like 12 months where we built up everything surely and slowly, and then we found a really good positioning and messaging, and we did a webinar for that, and it made a good amount of money.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
And then what happened? You went home and thought?
Yeah, me, Fred, we had a talk, and we were looking at like, okay, let's say we want to, what do we do? What do we want to do like in the long term? You know, do we keep want to work with these fitness clients and like run their entire business for a small percentage, or do we want to build something big with somebody which is the problem?
So you just try to recreate the thing that you experienced, like that you had with this webinar, but with someone else. You try to.
How many is there fitness lines?
We have 5.
Basically, Anton came home from Bali after speaking with you.
Yeah.
And then we needed
I messed it up. You know?
In Bali.
And then we do this huge webinar with this one client, and it does incredible. We've never seen numbers like this, and we see like a huge future for the company because of this opportunity and case with this client. And for the prior 12 months, we had been cash flowing very nicely with the agency, 5 clients, 30% profit share for new season. We operate everything. So in that moment where we have that client that does particularly well, we can see a way better direction there. And out of just like pulling the easiest lever to save Anton and Fred, his brother, the 2 guys in day-to-day, to save them a bunch of time, we're just like, let's give an incentive that is the guy that we have as the very well-paid VA, or operation manager, whatever we want to call him. And then I think now we're just in a position where he had, over the last few weeks, he's been getting more responsibility because of the profit share. And we're realizing if it's the right or wrong move here. And
It's 100% the wrong move.
Nice.
About 5,000%. Or for 5 million reasons.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, you tell me, hey, there is this idea where we can make real money.
Yes.
Let's give 10% away from it.
No.
You give him 10% from the fitness.
Yeah.
Still a bad idea. Okay, still a bad idea. Let's walk me through to the 10%. So you think that he's performing better because he gets the 10% of the fitness stuff, right?
Yeah, I think we've been, yes, exactly. We want to incentivize him so that will take more responsibility to take a bigger share.
Do you incentivize him on new money or same money?
Yeah, same money, but he gets a bigger cut of their performance, which is how we make money.
If you're going to do it, I think it's a bad idea. If you're going to do it, do new cash.
No, don't do it.
No, but like if
no world where you do it. Don't do it. Let's collectively agree. Don't do it. What do you think could be a reason why not to do it?
We would give him 10%, but the way that we cut down his salary, we cut down his salary scale. If we're maintaining what we're making now, he'll be making the same. So we would have to make more than that for him to make more money.
Yes.
I guess your reasoning behind giving him the 10% is that you still want to maintain the fitness clients and perform to the level that they're performing now.
Yeah.
but you want him to take care of it so you can focus your time on the big client.
Yeah.
But the only way he's going to be incentivized to take care of the fitness clients and maintain that or grow it is by giving him 10%. That's the reasoning, right?
He won't do that anyway.
I think that's what we've seen the past week as well.
He won't or will?
No, he won't.
He won't do it.
Yeah, right after we did that, he went on a big vacation, just very planned that beforehand. And I was just fucking holding all weekend while we were trying to fix burning shit. And he just wanted to jack shit.
But one more time, let's make it very easy. Let's say you run business A, and then you discovered something that makes you feel like, oh, let's do business B too. But now we need someone who takes care of business A. Why do you tend to choose this person? Because he's already close.
He's reliable, I think that's the thing.
Let's say your mother is going to create a company. She got funded, investors, everything. And she comes to you saying like, you know, for this very position I'm going to hire, what is the name of the person? Yeah, I'm going to hire, he's going to take care of everything. How would you feel? Would you say, yeah, go mom?
I wouldn't necessarily trust that.
I'm kind of confused. Is he good or bad? Because he seems like he's doing the job, but is he not?
You asking the question is the answer, you know?
But like, but apparently, yeah, we beat the name. But like, you keep saying he's reliable, but he's not. Like, is he good or bad?
He's decent. I think a lot of it comes from us as well.
Yes.
We aren't good enough about telling him what is good or bad and what he should do. Like, I don't think it's specifically for Jim. I think it's a us problem.
Yes.
Can I ask a question? If you had like tasks like super clear and he did them all, would he be a good employee?
Good.
Yeah.
Worth 10% of
So
your
it's hard
company.
to get out of this rut of like performing because we've been bad at training him, just putting him on a retainer. I believe that he can do a good enough job and get the 10% incentive, but it's how do we fix these initial conditions and take it from here, because I think he's good. I believe in him. But I think we've done a horrible job of training him properly and gearing him up for this.
I agree.
Do we fix the initial conditions or do we let go?
There's a fucking great culture at your company, that's for sure. So much self-belief installed.
You know, most of the time what we try to do is we just try to duct tape our problem. Let's say he's now taking care of the day-to-day business. So the standard that you have towards him is probably just, hey, maintain everything the way it is. Yep. Fine. After 2 months, you will say, oh, we don't make new sales. You will have a different approach to him. Now you want him to be the sales manager too and like be fully in the role of ownership for that thing.
It's not that we don't want to do anything in the agency, like with the fitness coaches.
Oh, trust me, if the new thing is going to work out, you probably don't spend that much time on business A again.
Yep.
So your problem is not that if he is good or bad, it's just understanding the perspective here. So what needs to happen that makes you leave business A? So let's say you do X amount of turnover in the new business, what happens then? Because you just try to, this is a quick solution, a cheap solution for an expensive problem. So, by the way, I really like you. The way you speak about the stuff and you explain that, I get that. I like Marius. We know each other. But like, I understand why you work together. But the way you think about it is horrible. Just because, oh, we can make money. Oh yeah, let's let him do the business. What the fuck?
It's primal.
And imagine business A is not going to work. The new business B, is not going to work out. What do you do then? Going back and saying like, oh, give me the 10% back.
It's like marriage, you know, you can't go back.
Sounds like experience over there, is it?
No, not yet.
It's like a help sign.
What is the biggest problem, like the number one constraint in the fitness business that you have, in business A?
Ads.
Is he good at ads? That's answer enough.
He's good at media buying, but in the creative side, he needs a lot of training.
You know, if I would be willing to give 10% away, I would get a fucking A player who literally wants to do the thing that I already built, and I would tell him, hey, we pivot to this business. We need someone as a chief of staff or something, or COO. This is the opportunity. By the way, we have a great guy who just needs to learn how to function in day-to-day. He's will to work. You would have someone who's happy to support, but I would never pick a random person to install him. There's a name for that. It's a PETA principle in management. Maybe you're familiar with that. Someone gets promoted as long until he fails. If you have a company and someone says, oh yeah, take him, he's good at it. Okay, now he's doing that. Then there's a new problem. Oh yeah, let's take him, he's good at that. So he started in IT, I can give an example. I had someone starting in IT ending up taking care of distribution for a skincare product in Asia. And then he hardcore failed. And everyone was like, oh, how can he fail? Yeah, because we promoted him to that position. He didn't want to do that. And the reason I'm saying that is, don't pick the first logical choice for a quick solution. If you would have told me like, oh, he really wants that from day one and he's very ambitious and he's really the person.
He definitely did that on that from day one.
But can I say something? Like you said two things there that are completely opposite. So you said media buyer and creative. Yeah. If someone's operational, they're never creative. Yeah. Like I love Colin over here. Colin fucking rocks the numbers, data, media, like anything. But if he went near creatives, I don't know how long the company would last. Like we have two different complementing skill sets. And I just think you guys are trying to like offload this fucking problem quickly versus like, this is the description of what we need to actually.
I just pulled on it. Don't hate me, Casey. Casey's looking at me like, the camera. I just pulled it a little bit because you were blind about it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Does it mess up the cam? Then we need to open it again. Okay.
No, it's all good.
I think it's also a bit maybe about like trading. I obviously don't have that much context, but I kind of like productize my whole fulfillment for the clients. It's obviously a different like industry, but it's like if you can basically build a school like course regarding like every step on the whole customer journey, like from client success, how to the onboarding, how to set correct expectations on the launch meetings, the creative side, your thought process around that as well. Like then it would be inevitable for him to fail if you have all of those resources. Then it's just about finding the right person if you can't basically execute on those things.
Yeah. I think this is a G with misaligned expectations.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think we're giving him a broken roadmap.
100%.
Because we're also very much in our heads in the task you do and Fred do and I do, and now we just expect to come inside of our heads.
I think we're three really good co-founders in our different sector, but we're terrible managers and operators, all three of us.
Yeah, welcome to the business world, you know, it's a part of it. So what I'd probably do if I would be you, I would just pretend to be a portfolio company. And then I would say, hey, we have the existing business A, which is doing very well, but we have problem 1, problem 2, problem 3. And then we have the new thing, company B. And you guys need to focus on this, but you need someone to fix this. Yes. And if he's doing that, he gets, I don't know, $10,000. Give him money, don't give him percent. I would never give percentage away. Imagine you're going to do 50 million on something that you already built. He just needs to fix minor stuff. What you're paying for is right now the feeling of, like you feel the relief.
Are we going to get that either way without it? And that's what I'm thinking. I'm not scared about paying people money if they can.
Yeah, and I would just use him to say, hey, we're building this portfolio. We really believe in you. No one understands business A more than you. If you help us to fix that and reach the targets, you get X amount of money. But I would never make him feel like, yeah, no, you are in charge now.
I'd also sit down and ask him, like, what does he think he's good at within these companies? And just like crystal clear focus on what he's actually good at executing, because he's not going to be a creative strategist and a media buyer at the same time. And he can probably bring on someone underneath him to work with him on the creative side of stuff or whatever it is. I think you guys are fucking fine, just like a bit of clarity.
The more curious, like the more interesting question is, why did it take you so fucking long to discover that B is even an opportunity? Who messed that shit up?
I don't think it's a matter of messing up. I think it's a matter of actually doing a really good job and then figuring out, holy shit, there's something.
And it took you so long?
Is it like a Danish Airbnb offer or something, is it? What's the offer?
We're not going to say it yet.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
So, but
that's fine.
It's around a webinar or something, is what you said. Okay.
No,
Okay.
I think it was just an opportunity from our world that met a very classic world with like laws and alignment and other ventures meeting together, and suddenly it had a child, and then
you know what the best exercise is? Whenever I had a situation like that, I asked myself, how could I have discovered that earlier just by thinking about it? This is why we have always liked in our C-level management 7-20-10. Like 70% is maintaining the current business, 20% is going into related projects to that, and 10% is freestyle innovative, whatever it is. And your job should be like, you should discover stuff like that faster. And if it's that good,
I'm thinking, yeah, why doesn't come over here and try find more fucking these? That's what I'm thinking.
You know, at the end of the day, it's you just trying to find relief that you feel like, oh, I want to make it work here, but I also want to make sure that I fulfill my responsibility in A, so who can do that?
It's a really healthy business. It makes very good cash flow. So
Yeah, then stabilize it, bro. It's no rocket science.
yeah. But that's what we're trying to do with that specific move, I guess.
Okay, let's play that through. What is the revenue of the business right now? Per year?
50K.
Per year.
So that's
600.
650, yeah.
Okay. What needs to happen to double that?
Double the clients.
Why you are not doing that?
Fulfillment.
What breaks first in fulfillment?
Ads
For your clients or for yourself?
for the clients.
Uh-huh. Why?
Big input and bad systems. We don't have the system for it.
You just described the solution, right?
Yeah.
So
But it's not that like we haven't tried building the system and like it's hard to explain. What do you say, Fred?
The same.
Yeah.
okay, let's do the thinking experiment. What do you think is business B gonna make like in year one?
Oh, that's fucking hard to say. Oh, we had a whole talk about that.
Yeah,
Yesterday.
the upside is just exponential with hours put in, I'd say.
Approx.
Give like a low and a high.
Okay, let me do the math real quick. It's
How can you think about creating a new business, brother?
Oh, it's a number.
Yeah, a number.
Probably 3 million a year.
Yeah.
How much hours do you need to spend to make that work? How many hours?
Well, with 3 different co-founders, I'd
50
say
hours a week.
Oh, I love you, brother. Okay. Cool. And you think how fast would you see results?
Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have already.
3 weeks, then the webinar is live again.
And how many webinars can you run right now with the pipeline that you have?
Quarterly.
Yep.
So it's relying on one person. Not. So this is like a. How many clients do you need here? One? Many?
Yeah. One.
Ah.
Why
Uh-huh.
quarterly?
Yeah.
Because the delivery is
Very heavy experiment,
yeah.
What's heavy improvement?
Investment. So there's back end and front end revenue. Right?
What do you mean investment?
Investing the
Outside
that come
investors,
through.
yeah.
Gotcha, yeah.
So make
But there are many levers to pull there, which we can increase the frequency of webinars and things to sell outside of something that has to do with investors. So the 3 million is only on the offer that requires outside people.
Yeah.
So I think if I can just take Anton and Fred's hours and then just put it in B, then we could probably double that.
To 6 million.
Yeah.
Probably 12 million.
Oh yeah, maybe 50 million.
I can make it 100.
So, what does it make you feel if you see like 6 million here,
One thing is
10% of that here?
One thing is in the hand and the other one is on the roof. One thing is secure and one thing is
Yeah, I understand.
yeah. Just all the other guys.
But like, yes, we do business, right? So we sitting here pretending we have like a 6 million per year kind of idea, business, whatever, and the question in the beginning was not how can I make the fucking 6 million or 12 million. It was leadership.
But that's not as cash rich because a lot of it goes into investment.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But from like, if I see this, like first of all, awareness, clarity, action. I always preach that. Become aware of it, gain clarity, and then go into action. What I would do is the first thing is you now don't run like your fitness business anymore. I would be like a portfolio, a holding company, what the fuck ever. Then I would understand what the problem here is, I will probably reduce the growth rate because I wouldn't really care. I would just try to make it stable.
Yeah.
So I would make sure that there's no friction in the delivery. I would make sure that everyone inside of this company knows exactly what winning looks like. I would make sure that this thing is a well-oiled thing. I would not go for an insane growth rate. I would just try to just slowly grow and make it work. This thing is what would get all my attention. How can you not know the number that it makes per year? What the fuck? If you have a good idea, then you are fucking lazy in thinking that idea through. If I would know at least half of the idea, I would probably already be 50 steps ahead. And I'm not mocking you. It's more like, guys, you discovered this idea and you had the right intention to focus on it because you have this intrinsic, like, let's call it superpower, to see that this can work. But you are so slow. So forget about him, forget about hiring, is he the right one, 10%, not 10%. I would just tell him, look bro, if you can keep it at that level, you get, I don't know, a bonus of $20,000 by the end of the year, or 30,000, who cares? But I would make sure that this thing, if you now say this makes 6 million, then probably there are different income streams to this offer that could even leverage this higher. And if you say that the fulfillment is what is so intense, like it's, what do we mean by that? Like what is the thing that?
We fund the project leads that come through. So we need to find investors for the fulfillment.
So it's kind of an auction.
No.
They don't want to talk about it, bro.
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't really care, you know. So this is one thing you can learn. I was like that too. Trust me, you could share your idea now, fully detailed. No one would copy it.
Yeah.
But I understand that you want to keep it. That's fine. But
that's no one. But it's not an option. It's an investment. So let's say you come into Probably, right? They come with the idea, they come with the planning, but then they need the money to fund it, right? And that's also a part of what we do.
okay, so why do you need both of them spending time on this?
Because the majority of the back-end delivery is through the guy that we operate. So when I talk about hours, I think about new season and the input required from us in order to get to that.
Could someone else do the same work too?
No, yeah. Probably, but no, yeah. Not as of now.
Okay, we have our, like, what do you think about that, my friend?
I mean, I don't really understand the problem. Like, truly. Don't understand it fully.
What do you think the problem is?
I mean, first it sounded like it was a higher problem, right? Like a culture problem. You had a guy you maybe needed to talk to get him to do the job.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the question of, we went from 10% to how to make it work, to then understand what to focus on, how to prioritize, and how to see ourselves. Because it's hard to pretend to be like a fitness agency, scaling info product type of shit, while building a new thing. So first of all, your identity needs to change to be a portfolio owner. That allows you to talk to your team saying like, hey, we have asset 1 and asset 2. We right now need to spend time on asset 2 so that we can later put money back in asset 1 to grow even faster. But for that time, we just need someone making sure that asset 1 runs smoothly. But you won't get there, bro. I'm very hard to you right now, but I tell you, with this speed, you won't get there. And we had some conversations. I know you're smart and fast. You need to gain clarity on this, in whatever that means. Like, this is the easy part. I would write down, what is the best case? What could we achieve in, let's say, 10 weeks if we really lock in? Because then it's all about getting 10 weeks where you have time to focus on it. Then you have to prove that 10 weeks literally caused this outcome, and then you can make a step, that not the next step, but the right next step. I always try to buy myself time. So when I see, okay, there's a new opportunity, I go to my team and say, okay, I need 4 weeks without anyone like reaching out. I need to go all in on that one. Then I take my 2, 3, 4 best guys and we locked in. But before I share with my portfolio team, I say, 4 weeks, full focus are going to lead to this outcome. and then it allows you to go into action, because otherwise you're just guessing. And if there's an opportunity like this, and it's really true, but I just believe it's true, then probably you should just go all in on this. Because I would argue that right now you don't spend that much time here anyways, right? Or are you involved every day?
Yeah.
Why? You're focusing on ads?
No, I'm scared of the falling apart.
But you said your biggest problem is ads.
Yeah, but
You're not focusing on ads?
I scripted some ads this week to make it work. I think for me, I'm kind of the one all the clients go to, and there's still sales management within the offer, right? I'm still gonna do that.
Give an exercise from a billionaire friend of mine who always asks me the question, and this is, if I would buy your company tomorrow, what is the first thing that you would recommend me to change?
Smooth delivery.
Uh-huh. So if you would help your team to get to a smoother delivery, that would help to stabilize this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how much time do you think it needs to get there? Faster, bro. If we would work together, I would be like, go!
I thought.
And I only do that because I know him from Bali. We were at the same mastermind with Will Brown. This is why I can't say that.
I think I said I thought 1 week first, and then I made it to 2 weeks. But I think realistically, like it's 100% possible to do it within a week. But one thing I gotta do is I gotta change the mindset of the people running the ads of what winning ads look like, or what's good ads.
Yeah.
You know, it being high quality, or it being like it performing and the business growing.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what I would do if I would be you guys, I would just split my week into like, I would spend 3 days locked in on that. 2 days I would fully focus on every time I would say, what is not working? How can we fix that?
Yeah.
I would be obsessed and like, we fix it. We fix it, and we didn't fix it, I won't leave the office today. Because you're really good in what you do. You're really good in what you do. Probably if you would focus on fixing the things, not pushing it to someone else, it would be probably the solution for all of this together. Because you would train your team on how to fix problems and maintain the business at the same time, while you test how they can perform without you because you're spending 3 days here. It's like a full solution.
Can I ask you a question?
No. That was a joke.
You run a portfolio company, right?
Say it again?
You run a
Yeah,
portfolio.
yeah.
How many companies do you have under you?
We need to keep that, but like in shares, we have over 100 shares on companies.
Yeah.
I created 17 companies by myself where I was a CEO. It was the most stupid decision ever because I was literally a CEO of 17 companies at a time. You can't do that, it's just pure ego. But what's the question? Say it again?
Like, how do you spend your time and energy?
Really good question. Right now, most of it is spending time on I would say, personal brand. A lot of it is just helping people around me because it's literally the thing that I want to do. But I went through the hardest time in my life because I messed it completely up to take care of the assets, so it blew up in my face. So for the last 4 years, I was taking care of every asset that didn't work. And this is a job you don't want to do because you get confronted with everything you didn't take care of or that you pretended not to know. So to answer your question, I give an example. I invested into a company that does the same as Hyros, YouTube tracking, stuff like that. I think it was a year ago when I get in as a shareholder, and now the company is already at a valuation of 5 million. But the time I spent on that is so little because in the beginning, and this is always the hard work, I probably spent 3 months with the CEO every day for like 2 hours and trained him on everything. But I also trained them on every week I get reports from the CTO, from the CEO. I make them discover their own mistakes just by the systems I install. Then I have other companies like, I don't know, I have a really good team. So I think it's very healthy if you only work with, let's say, 5 people that report to you. More than that makes it difficult. So I like to work in small units, 5. So I don't really care about I don't talk to no employee in TrackU, for instance. I only talk to the CTO and to the CEO, because both are shareholders too. And at the end, I'm just really obsessed to understand what is the purpose of the business. I don't do business anymore just for the sake of having a business. I really sit down because I know most of the time it's going to work out. If I focus on it, it's going to work out. But then I want to understand, why do I build the business? So if I don't know what a successful business journey looks like in that case, how the fuck should I even feel like I make progress? Everything is, have you been on a meeting there where you feel like at the end of it, it didn't really even make sense that you had the meeting? Nothing changed?
Yeah.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. This is because you don't have any kind of vision in place.
Yeah.
Imagine you do a road trip and for some reasons your GPS is not working anymore. And you want to go to Paris, whatever. And you're in the middle of the road and you call your brother or someone else. This is probably a very efficient call. You say, hey, I want to go there. My GPS is broken. How do I get there? Period. Very efficient. Problem, solution, done. But if you just call someone for the sake of, hey, how are you doing? Yeah, good. What do you do? Nothing. What do you do now? It was fun to talk to each other. Felt like you did something, but it's a completely different outcome. And I realized it's the same for yourself and the way you treat and respect your time. Because if you don't honor the hour, you do something wrong. And I'm very obsessed with my time. If I end up in a meeting, like I don't wait longer than 5 minutes in a Zoom call if you don't show up. I leave. I'm serious, I leave. I had that a couple of times lately, and I left, even in an exit call, because the person was late. I don't care. I don't like that. And this is how every hour that I spent makes sure, like, let's take this example. You don't find an opportunity like that so often. And if you discovered it, probably other people know about it too. So therefore, I would just activate my super skill. But to all of you, this is why we started the round and asking like, what is the pain, what is the best case? You could have had everything in place that helps you, like the right questions to ask me, the right questions on, oh, we have this opportunity, we want to do this, how do we stabilize this? Your preparation, your awareness of like your problem awareness is super shit. This is the problem of all of you, including myself a long time ago. I'm just obsessed with it because I almost went bankrupt because I wasn't before. I know what it means if you get confronted with the shit that you don't take care of. But trust me, the value of you guys that you leave on the table because you're not prepared or you don't understand like the scope of your own business is huge. So therefore,
with the awareness of a problem, is there a certain amount of like layers that you go deep in regards to questioning the actual question? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, is it like, okay, we asked the baseline question is, we have this problem, and then do we ask a question, the question 3 times below that? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah. And even more important, I think all of you think you have time. But trust me, if you would be in the same space as I am, I would be your competitor. I'm coming after you. I don't care if you spend 1 day, 2 days, you don't find someone here. I am hyper efficient with the stuff I do. And just by the way you talk, you're probably the same way. You could be the same, like, because I think you're a really good team. And right now, you pretend to have a problem where no problem, like there is no problem, period. I would just be obsessed to make this work. And I would tell this guy, hey, we need you to take care of this because we trust you. I would not try to buy my, I don't know, that like his passion. I would say we trust you, but we were shitty leaders to you. This is why you never really tapped into your full potential, but we want to create this holding company and we see you taking care of multiple assets in the future, but we need to make our job right first, so we will just want you to teach everything we know so that you can prove that you can run that, so that you maybe in the future get a percentage of this. And then he would be like, wow. They finally realized they were shitty in leadership. Just kidding, you know, it's more like
that's true.
A story, the narrative is so important for your team. Don't hide behind closed doors saying like, oh no, we have this opportunity. It's nothing, it's something different. No, tell them, hey, we are this, and you help us by doing this because we can do that. This is how you unlock the real potential of someone. And if you do that, yeah, there is magic to it. If you tell your team, hey, I'm now going to do this, and this is going to work out, they will never ever leave you. Because people like people who say, I'm going to do this, and it's going to work, no matter what it takes. Because then they know, if shit hits the fan, you do the same for them here. But if you feel like it's a secret, we don't talk about that, oh no, this is the business, and this is a business. Like, I always treat our assets as a third individual on the table. Like if we would talk about my assets, CodeLight, whatever, I would pretend that CodeLight is on the table too. And your business helped you a lot. This business helped you a lot from an identity standpoint, money standpoint. So your job is not to treat it as like, oh yeah, I have a new girl, bye-bye. No, your job is to respect it and say, okay, I understand what I have to do here. Because think about it, if you, and this is by the way a skill that you need to develop, if you want to run a portfolio company, this is becoming the standard. Every business is duct taped in the beginning. There's no perfect business. Your job is, okay, we realize, fuck, we need to fix this. Then you take this as a learning when you set up this, and over time, you incrementally get closer to the perfect setup. This is why I can set up companies now, bam, 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 gone. It took me 12 years to get there, plus I paid, I guess, 7 million in the last 4 years because I fucked up. And it's okay. Congratulations that you found that. It says a lot about you guys, okay? Mm-hmm. So, for all of you listening right now, if you ever have an opportunity like this, you know that you're on the right way, because you don't discover something by accident. Maybe you do, but you don't. The intrinsic urge to leverage this idea, this is unique. This is what makes a founder a founder. Mm-hmm. And speaking about content, you do content for. Yeah, this is what you should talk about. This is like, I'm serious. Like this. Hey, we have this. We want to do this. We have the idea. Like, I don't know what kind of content you guys do, but just by the way you talked now, I would just put the cam on him and clip it.
I remember Iman said to me, I went boxing at his house in like November, and he said that like most people in the online space get to like that like gap where they make like all their money, and like you have to just like squeeze every bit of the fucking lemon. And obviously, like I think you guys have this like gap now where like you can squeeze the fucking juice. And he said like most people just don't capitalize on that because they're not focused enough. He said that, like him, Sam Ovens, Ty Lopez, they just squeeze the juice so heavy on like one thing. And that like that's what we're trying to do now as well on our stuff, just squeeze the juice heavily, because you don't know how long this is going to last for.
And one more thing for all of you.
What the fuck's that, bro?
I just found that they're spawning here. I already had like this one and this.
Two. I love a Noco too.
Let me tell you one thing, and I don't really share that much. Like, let me rephrase that. Right now, all of you guys are just one build away from a business that would change your entire life. If someone sits here and tells me like, oh, the delivery is messed up or copywriting is bad, guys, then you fucking don't understand AI. I'm serious here, and I'm not like vibe coding type of shit. Like there is no problem anymore that can't be fixed with AI in less than 2 hours. I promise you that. From zero to a working version, if you just understand the opportunities on the market, I fixed 5 companies where we had like the exact same thing. Onboarding was pain, delivery was pain. I literally spent less than 2 hours on each company and freed them up, like think 6 weeks of time. So your real problem is you don't understand the new way of working. It shouldn't take that long. Your business shouldn't feel that heavy. And if your business feels heavy, it's your problem.
You're the AI guy here. Is that true?
I very much agree.
I'd say you do.
What? Yeah.
What's your business card? You have some business here.
Yeah, actually, we built something for.
I've already paid him a lot of money.
Okay.
We built something for Fred that kind of could align with what you need. Yeah.
Let me tell you one thing. In 22 years that I spent in software development, the goal is not to build the next tool. The goal is to diagnose the process first and then build the right tool that fixes it and then compounds. So don't build the fucking next vibe-coded tool and be trapped in that thing, but understand the full scope of the business identify what the constraint is and use the constraint as leverage so that you can go from there. And this is the difference between you hiring a random guy or hiring someone who is probably like you, really good in understanding business plus AI. Because vibe coding right now, everyone can do that. But I tell you, you don't want to have your business running on a solution that no one can take care of in, I don't know, from Lovable. Right? Maintenance. Everyone is building something right now. Yeah, it's easy to build something, but to maintain it, it's different. If you have a business that is 600,000 based on a sloppy foundation, you don't want that. And you don't want to be innovative on a sloppy foundation. Fix the foundation first. And then probably you discover a problem that many other people do have too. So the solution that you build to fix this is probably something that you can sell to others too. And this is to you too. If I hear that, bro, I don't understand why. You should have a tool in place. If I would be you, I would have a tool saying, okay, new client, boom. Then I have mapped out kind of a skeleton, okay, webinar, landing page, this, and this. And then I would have your brain distilled in the tool saying like, hey, it's a type of this. All I would need to make that work is you doing a voice message, and I promise you the tool would set up everything up. Well, how can you not focus on that?
It's very funny you say, because last 2-3 months we built these core assets.
2-3 months?
Yeah, no, it's been like a focus point for the last 2-3 months.
A focus point? Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Guys, I'm serious, man. There are competitors right now doing that shit. 2-3 months, a focus point. What does it even mean, bro? You're so smart. Probably if you would create the tool that makes sure, I would even use it as a lead magnet. I would say, hey, this tool measures how much you are seen for the way you should be seen for, like the right language, communication, blah, blah, blah. And I would analyze someone's brand or offer with your perfect way of measuring it, whatever that is in that case. But start to turn your wisdom into a fucking engine. Man, I'm super upset. I liked all of you, but now I'm pissed off, man. Yes, sir.
I have another question, but that would take things kind of off course.
Okay.
It's related to having like one of those opportunities too.
Okay, and hold on for a second, okay? One more time. If you can't diagnose the problem in your business, if you sit here saying to me, oh yeah, our problem is that, delivery, onboarding, whatever, and you spend no fucking time in the last 90 days to fix that with AI, then you're an idiot. And I say the same to my entire team, because it's true. It's true. Please understand that. The more you understand your problem, the easier you can fix it with AI. And I don't like this AI buzzwords of, oh, we do nothing against you, brother. I know you're very young. The thing I'm going to say now is probably not for you. A 20-year-old probably can't fix your business problem in a way that some skilled person can do it. They can fix the problem. Oh, this doesn't work. Yeah, we vibe code the solution. But what you actually want is, what he probably can do, I give you credits without knowing what you do, you want someone who zooms out, sees what you do, sees what you are good at, sees why you are different to your competitors, predicts the market in the next years, and merge that together into a fucking solution. There will be an insane new market in the future of clients who got a vibe-coded solution and now need quick help. Because the person is gone, the software is not working, but the business relies on that. And therefore, one more time, all of you who are doing something, use your brain to teach an engine. This is how you literally scale, okay? Please do that. If you only promise me one thing. My brother, now it's your turn.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, I saw my opportunity in that, like, you should use the road, not as like company B, but as the holding company itself. So, not that I'm running a holding company, but we have different clients who do ad creatives with different brands. And like more recently, we've shifted things around with AI and whatnot, where we do mostly AI creatives, and we've shifted from being like traditionally just retainer based to on ad spend shares, because the cost is low. We can produce a lot of ads, and
smart.
Yeah, if the ad, it's a misadjusted risk from where I see it, because if an ad, if the company runs like 100 ads, I can come in and make 100 ads or 200 ads, so we can take two-thirds of the total ads being produced. But if the company is spending, you get the point.
Very good example for how to transition a business, yes?
So that's the first part. So I see that as like, okay, I want to double this on this model, this vehicle, and I think I have a knack for finding good people to. It's very simple, like the business itself, like the operations, the delivery, and I trust that I can find people who are better than me and actually do the work.
Yep.
Because I've already done that. But my question is now, it was actually similar to this question about B2B positioning, because we work predominantly with like 7 to 8 figure e-commerce brands. I also want to work with 9-figure e-commerce brands too. And I've historically probably found some network referrals and content. And I'm spending a lot of time thinking about like what's the right move, how should I do this. I've just gone back to, okay, we can just do more of the test work, which is the LinkedIn content. So I've done more of that.
What is the actual question? How to get more clients?
Sorry, so my question would be B2B positioning and creating content or like marketing at scale. And I'd be curious because you said you were focusing on content first, and you're also highly effective as a person. So how you go about like that?
Content for you or clients?
For oneself, for the company. It's just like scaling acquisition of like high.
So you basically just want to
get more customers.
Yeah. The right customers. Okay, cool. Do you know how your perfect ICP looks like?
I'd say so. Yeah.
Okay. What worked so far for you to get those type of people?
Posting content and then reaching out to me.
What type of content?
Like results, case studies, and observations.
So that means you create a desire because they want the same for themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. What desire? What is the result that they see?
So it'd be increase in revenue.
Say again?
Increase in revenue.
Okay. Now you need to ask yourself why they feel like they can't do it themselves and see you as the only logical choice.
In comparison to other competitors?
Probably.
Yeah.
Can I ask a deeper question? Do you actually get your ICP from content? Like, do you actually get the 8 and 9 figure e-commerce brands from content?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're trying to solve the UGC output problem?
No, not output problem. I'm considering like, do I just like, because if I post every day on LinkedIn, I can do that, it's no problem. But like, can I go faster? You know what I mean? Like, should I launch a new channel again, a new channel? But
it's not about going faster, it's about understanding what content resonated and why, and how to replicate that on scale.
I'm just thinking if it works now, why like scale it?
But does it work?
Yeah, I'd say, but not as fast as I want to. But maybe it doesn't work because I'm not working with all.
Did you only paid ads at all?
No, not right now, but I have done that.
Why?
Okay.
Just why don't you run paid ads still?
Yeah.
Paid ads is always a belief problem.
Yeah.
It's always number one, a lack of clarity problem.
I think it's also if we do 15 percentage of ad spend, so there isn't a lot of upfront investment, but we could charge something upfront, and then I'd be funding that could fit in that.
I can say from first-hand experience, like running ads is lack of confidence in the offer that you're like selling.
Yeah.
And so as Christian always says, like it's clarity in regards to who you're serving and what the bottleneck is that you're solving.
Can you repeat on the belief problem? Because you say, I found that very interesting. You said it's always a belief problem.
I think paid ads is like not doing paid ads is a belief that what you do isn't clear enough or valuable enough. I think paid ads is literally, do you have a big enough ball sack to put on the table?
Yeah.
That's literally all paid ads is.
I'm really bullish on a new offer, so.
Even some form of testing. Like testing is one of the biggest. Testing is the most important word, in my opinion, in business.
What is the 3 things someone needs to know to be certain to run ads? Because I really like the angle. I never heard that. So is it because I think you're right, because they have to understand their product, their ICP, and their message.
Yeah, well, I'd say number 1 is obviously ICP, because you need to have some form of call out. Well, it's number 2, the clearest solution. And the solution isn't more revenue. The solution is whatever the bottleneck is within the revenue, is obviously the call out. But like paid ads is very simple. It's just ballsy.
What's your thinking process for separating yourself from other members' clubs? And what's the focus instead?
Honestly, I don't focus on anything to do with my competitors. Like, I don't analyze competitors' funnels. To be honest with you, I think A Players I believe in the word innovation so much. And like, I believe if you look at other people, you start thinking within the box that they're thinking within. And I think if I look at any competitor to us, if anything, they've copied everything we've done. So if I was to look at us, if I was to look at them, I'd be looking at us 3 months ago because they're always copying what we're doing. Peter Thiel quote here is, successful people find value in unexpected places. So we always go to like different markets and see like, oh, well, like what's the angle that they're doing? Like for example, them guys got their clients because they went kind of outside their market, but it was kind of within their market in the same way. So it was like, it was outside of the realm of what they were thinking in. And whatever with A players, whenever we market, we're just testing constantly based on our own innovation of like, what's the feedback from the audience? So feedback loops as well. But innovation is the number one word that we look for all the time. And as Christian said, the 70-20-10 rule, we use that as well. Like 70% is, there's a guy called Izzy Sharp, he created 4 Seasons. It's a founder's podcast. And he talks about like, the foundation of your business should be built upon something that never changes. And for us, it's like people will always value relationships. It's like that's the core fundamental of the message that we send. And then 20% will be like the trips, the networking, the boats, etc. The 10% for us is like, how do we mess around with like the round table mastermind? We launched like a 20K offer where we're going to be doing like 4 of these a year with like guys who are doing over 100K a month. And so it's like we're testing that angle, we're testing other angles, see what the market wants, but we're innovating within ourselves and we're not copying our competitors, or else we look like them. That mightn't solve the answer to your question. But well, paid ads yet again, it's them 3 things of ICP, pain, problem, but it's mainly ball sacks to go on tables.
I found I make the best marketing messaging as well. Like I come up with the best idea when I don't look at competitors.
100%.
Because you just tapped in if you know what you do.
There's so much we have a group chat for our content team where like we send ads in and content from like Rolex, McLaren, all these brands for like see what their content they're creating, so we can then get creative in what we create that looks so different from our marketplace. Because all of you who've ever got inspiration for content, I guarantee you got it off another guy in your space, in your industry. And so like as a byproduct, you just look like them. But we're always like looking outside of our marketplace for value. I was talking to Sue Go as well. That's what he was saying. He does too. Like they look at like they did like a lie detector test recently, and he said he gets that from like looking outside of his industry, the Shark Tank stuff, any sort of high leverage innovation they look at. We actually quit Reels recently on my main page. Yeah. Main reason was I was questioning myself. I was like, why do we create Reels? And then I was like, we create Reels because everyone else creates Reels and everyone tells me to create Reels. And then I was like, well, what do I actually think would move the business forward? Then I was like, okay, my content team can't focus on any form of leverage at all, because I wake up in the morning and we're like, what reel do we post today? How can we capture the first 3 seconds? What's the call to action at the end? What's the lead magnet? Is that ever going to get my business from like 150K a month to like 500 or a million? No, it's not really. It's going to be this like long form piece of content that really gets an audience bought in. So my whole shift has gone from like 0 reels at all, and I'm going to use that as a leverage point in my content. Like, I quit Instagram, here's my plan to scale to this. Like, to me that's innovative, because I see a problem that I'm identifying and I'm going to go with it. I want you to do the same with your ads, because you probably have an angle or messaging in your head that works, but it's just worth testing.
Did you try running in the US?
Yeah. But it's been a long time since we switched to output. And back then, paid ads actually worked to some degree. I think messaging might finish it off, but we had some fulfillment issues.
Yeah.
But those are gone now. So
I think like if you want to target like bigger business, I think would help like, you know, if you say if you're running an e-commerce business spending over XYZ amount of dollars on ads every month, but you have a problem with XYZ, and then go into your solution and then like test the reels, I think that would crush. And in terms of like putting, you know, your balls on the table, as he mentioned, I think it's just a lot about looking like historically what has actually been your lifetime value for each client you sign, so you know your CAC ceiling. Because, you know, as Homos is talking about, you need like a 1 to 3 from, you know, your CAC to LTDP, and if you know you would have that, then you would also be more certain in spending a lot of money on ads.
Yeah, CAC is so important. People always think that, like, they always are scared about their upfront in return on ads without actually calculating what does someone actually spend with me. It's so important. I completely understand that as well. One thing I think people just don't think about enough, we had a guy called Marius Bely at our last Mastermind. I don't know if anyone here knows Marius. He runs like 30 million a month in ads for Iman, Shelby Sapp, Grant Cardone, Robert Kiyosaki, biggest names in the industry. But he said like all of his biggest clients are from referral partnership networks. Like, I don't think people think enough outside of the box of like okay, who works directly with 8 to 9 figure e-commerce brands? Who works with them? Okay, maybe first of all I think about, okay, what mentorship is a really high level mentorship that I could maybe approach the owner of that mentorship and say, hey, I'll be like your in-house direct referral partner where they get 25% kickback. I'd also think, what ads agencies are the most well-known ads agencies that I can then go and approach to help have a strategic partnership where they refer me over their highest level clients, and then I'll get 25% kickback. I don't think people think outside of the box of fucking ads and YouTube and actually get creative with forms of acquisition anymore.
How do you split your energy then? Like, so now you're focusing on YouTube, and then you're just, okay, I'm going to do this.
I think I have the fucking, yeah, I have the best team in the world because, like, for example, as Christian said, I don't fuck with my time at all. So for example, I was on an ads meeting 2 months ago and we were in a cafe. Bro, I was like a fucking bulldog after the meeting. I was like, why the fuck did I just spend a half an hour? I was like, I said to Colin, never, ever, ever have me on a meeting ever like that ever again. It was like a bunch of opinions going around in a circle. I was like, I'm not here for an opinion-based conversation on something that is not high leverage. If it's ads, it's data. So you either bring me the numbers or I'm not on the call. So that sort of stuff. So I think the company this month's slower than last month, but like I'll take 3-4 calls a week and that's it. And so it's like all my focus is going into the high leverage stuff like O-Box for us to create enterprise value behind our company. The global tour is an undertaking that's so difficult, and people would think, is it worth it? Because we don't make, we probably lost 10K in this event, maybe more because our immediate buyer fucked up. And so it's like, is it worth it front end? No. But is it something that nobody in my industry can copy because it's so innovative? Okay, anybody can give information, but who can give experience? Who can get Imma and Gaji to give you fucking glasses and hats? Not many people. Like, that just creates so much leverage. I always think about leverage. Christian always says to me, leverage over revenue. Like, I remember him on one of our boot camps, he had literally he had leverage over revenue. And I think our job as CEOs is to think, how can I create fucking leverage? It's not how can I create revenue. Anybody can do that. Like leverage, for example, would be these guys getting clarity on the description because that creates so much headspace for them to go and completely focus on the revenue that they're going to generate anyway. So for me, my time and attention, I don't have like a calendar of like this blocks for O-Box, this blocks for the tour, this blocks for this. But my team know, like sales calls, I don't do them anymore. I don't know. I just don't dedicate time to things that take my energy. And I actually still do stuff like some graphic stuff I still do because I just love it. It gives me energy. And so I do what gives me energy as well. Business fucking sucks if you delegate everything that you're actually naturally good at, because then you're just like, you feel useless. You get burnt out very easily. Your question?
Yeah. How do you know like what kind of person you want to hire? Do you want to hire like more expertise, or do you want to hire like a problem solver? Like you have a problem in the business and you want to hire someone to fix this problem, or do you want to hire someone that's more like an expert and can solve maybe a bigger problem, or like?
I think people really underrate hourly calls with experts. Like Dan Martell's creative director costs like, I think $500 for an hour. And like, I'll do that like as maybe once, twice a month, maybe a quarter to keep my team thinking at a very high level. Maybe he getting the systems, etc. It's a very difficult question to answer because it's very dependent on the actual section within the company. Yeah. Sales, I want to hire the best. Like, why would the opportunity cost not having the best of the best sales reps is huge, and sales reps, they're going to cost similar enough amounts. Like, you're obviously going to hire a VA. You're not going to hire a cracked VA and go like spend all your time with that. They'll train themselves. Colin, my COO, he was actually someone like we trained a lot. Like, you came on when, like a year and a half ago, and like I think COO is someone who creates leverage for you. And obviously at the beginning of a business, when you're doing 20, 30, 40K a month, you're not going to go and get a CEO who's 10 years experience. It doesn't make sense. So I knew my experience of working with Iman and stuff like that. I understood how a proper CEO should run. It's fed a lot onto Colin, told him he's the toolbox to the team. He's there to protect my time and create leverage for everybody else. So I fed into him, like correcting certain things over and over and over again. So I think, Christian, you can give an actionable thing to this because I'm just giving opinions. So you can give an actionable step for this. I think it's really dependent on the position. If there's someone that's so talented that you know is going to be there for a decade, I'd feed into them a lot. But on positions like, for example, event management, I'm going to hire someone who's like way better than me because I don't know anything about that. I'd only hire to teach on what I'm the best at, and the rest I'd let, like I'm going to hire a sales guy who's better than me because I'm actually shit at sales now. I'll hire marketers better than me because I'm not good at marketing anymore. Only teach what you're the best at and hire the best for the rest. Do you have an opinion on that? Like, when you're hiring, which hires do you make to fill into the person, and what hires do you make to learn from them?
I actually think that you have a lot of, because I'll explain a little bit more of what I do, because we have a, it's basically like in tech, but for medical things. So we have 2 points
I did that
of
too.
like expertise,
Yeah.
like very heavy expertise fields, where it's like, well, you gotta be on the medical and knowledge of the, and we do have a doctor that we work with that is really, really good. So we work with her, but we also want to leverage like the tech of it and get out to everybody. We work in the whole of Europe, so it's also like a lot of laws we need to follow. So these things, like it's like 3 pillars of very like, we need kind of the expertise, but do we train someone or do we hire expertise?
No, in that case, I would not try. Like, especially if it's about law and scaling, and there's something where you don't want to try to train someone on it. You need an expert, because if you want to scale fast, you can't train someone on something that you don't understand by yourself. I hire for the soul. I tell you the way it is. The business world is going to change soon, anyways. The headcount of every company is going to be so low. There's no need. Like the highest amount of people I hired is literally VAs from the Philippines lately. I think I'm having 30 or something right now, because they are perfect to use AI tools that we build across our portfolio. They're amazing. They test, they take care of the workflow, they love to work, you know? So I think you need to be very conscious about, like, are you on a mission to build something? Then it makes sense to hire someone like Callum, for instance. If I remember back the time when we created software for hospitals, it was all about like the right protocol and how you make sure that you fulfill the policies and stuff. You need to have a partner for that. Like literally a partner who takes care of that angle. And I think the process of hiring, man, I think I had over 120 employees in my life, at least at the same time, probably even more in total. But there are only a few where I felt like that was really cool. The other hire was always because someone asked me, can we hire this person? Or I thought this person is going to fix a problem that I had in the first place. So you need to be really good in understanding, do you hire the person because you have a problem and you just wish the problem to disappear? Or do you genuinely believe that this problem is going to be solved by this person? And most of the time, hiring is a money problem. If you would have 10 million on your bank account, probably would approach the problem different than now. Because now you think, oh, a person is going to solve that. But if you have money to evaluate, what do we need to do? What is the strategy? How can we fulfill that? This process of hiring is going to change, because at the end of the day, a bad hire fucks you up because it consumes time, makes something with your ego. So therefore, I'm obsessed with the vision first, because I think this is one of the mistakes I did in the past. I was just like freestyling and we did this and somehow we ended up with F1. If I could travel back in time, I would just force myself to be more dedicated about, okay, go there. Because you're going to land up, like, you're going to achieve it anyways. This is why we are here. Most of the time we are successful with what we do. So better be intentional about it. So therefore I think only hire if you really want to stay with that person. Because if it's just a one-time fix, pay someone.
Any final questions before we go for dinner? I want to make sure every problem's
Yeah, I noticed, Christian, you mentioned earlier that you make people discover their own mistakes / weaknesses through the systems that you provide.
Yes.
And I kind of want to dig a little bit deeper into that and how you go about doing that.
I can give you the perfect example for that. Every C-level person around me has to send me a report every Friday where I let them tell me what worked perfectly, what was a problem this week, what did you spend most of your time with, and was it helpful, yes or no? Just by asking them questions, they lead themselves to the fact of, oh. And I always put it in, what can you do next week different to avoid that problem? And do you need my help, yes or no? Click here.
And do you do that for yourself as well?
No.
Like committed to yourself as well?
No. But I'm like, I started my first business when I was 16. I'm now 38. I'm hyper obsessed with patterns, and I'm the hardest person to myself ever. Like, I spend a good amount of time in my head to get to the person that I am today. I'm hyper aware of my time. My entire life is built around that. I don't share that online, but if I'm not traveling, probably I spend time with my kids. And I still run business very efficient. But I don't need to check in on myself again, because I don't ask myself anymore, do I have an imposter syndrome? Do I have this? I just get it done. I just fucking work. I see myself like almost like a fighter, because imagine if you're a boxer and in a boxing match you're like, oh, do I have imposter syndrome? Am I overthinking? You have no time for that. I'm just doing it. But on the other hand, I was not like that when I was as old as you are, guys. You're 22?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a full-time idiot at that age. You know, you need to understand, you shouldn't compare yourself to me, because I made all the mistakes. It sounds like that I'm smart or wise or something. Guys, trust me, I made all the mistakes 5 times that I call you out on. That's why I'm so harsh, because I really like you and I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did. But it took me a very, very long time, because I was an idiot. And I have a lot of respect for you guys, because with all the stuff that you see online and all the reels and advices and business videos, man, you are fucked with all the shit that you get hammered in your head every day. All you need to do is trust yourself.
One of the biggest flaws, this is one of the biggest flaws like our generation, is there's too much analysis of this imposter syndrome, energy, frequency stuff. I just think it's such bullshit, bro. Like, I think if we weren't told about it, we'd just get on with things.
100%.
And like, that's what I'm learning the most from like older people.
Old brother, here we go.
I'm joking.
No, you're right.
But like, they don't think about this sort of shit, bro. They just execute. And like, I've gotten really good. Like, I was in my own head, like asking myself all these like identity questions like a year ago. And then I was like, bro, I was like, I'm G. Like, I don't need to ask myself these questions. Let's just keep like rolling the dice. I think people people analyze too much, I think. But like their own self-identities and stuff just fucking work.
And what you actually want to do to answer the question is you just want to find an easy way that a person always address their problem to you without feeling like they complain. If they have a standard way to let you know without, like, if they just fulfill the task to let you know, they feel good about sharing everything with you instead of you not asking for it. And then it, like, over time gets worse. And
so
then
you give them a way to show their problems.
100%. I create a way just by, again, it's called the CEO report or the CTO report. And I literally ask them the question that guides them to the point that they realize, oh, that was bad. And then
What's the questions?
Yeah, starting from let's say software development, or let's take an example from Trackio. I'm interested in how would you describe last week if it would be a YouTube title, which is fun because people get creative about that. Then I have basic questions like, do you feel like you made progress last week? I always ask, what is your goal for next week? And obviously if they achieved it. And I'm hyper obsessed to find out if they spend time on something that they already spent time on, but they shouldn't even spend time on it in the first place. Administration stuff, unclear ownership, it's the number one thing. Unclear ownership. Oh, who's responsible? Oh, I thought you do that. Oh, he's not doing it. Christian, please help. Yeah. And I make sure, and that's what I always do, I let them rate themselves. And if someone rates himself less than a 7, I call them. I'm like, why, bro? Why are you so hard on yourself? And then I ask them, what do you need to do to be at least a 10 next week? Like 6 of 10, 10 of 10.
What about, have you ever experienced, let's say a C-level you have hired, that the reports that they sent to you simply doesn't align with your perceived indications of how they could be working?
Yeah, but there are 2 reasons for that. Either they really believe that what they send you, then there's a misalignment from like getting from perception to perspective, or they just want to fool you. And most of the time, people focus on the complete wrong thing. They think they do a good job. And speaking about Trackio, I can give an example here. We were doing a good job but we didn't make any significant revenue in the beginning. And at some point I was like, why the fuck is no one taking care of that? And then the CEO was like, yeah, I'm taking care of marketing and this and this. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but I'm not seeing that reflected in numbers. So now, every week, I want you to put the number in of new clients. And it was very hard for him to have 0, 0, 0. And then all of a sudden, it changed. And I called him, I'm like, what changed? And he said literally to me, I hated to put a 0 in that. But people, like, there's a saying that says, what you inspect, people respect. And maybe you're aware, like, if you wear something like this, you probably know that when you wake up, you check on your sleep score or recovery score, and it has an impact on your behavior. Because if you see that you have a bad recovery score or you have a shitty sleep score, believe in it or not, but it makes something with you because like, that's not good, just by seeing it. So that means awareness in itself, most of the time, changed the behavior of the person who was responsible.
You had a question?
Yeah, it was about, you saying beforehand that it was a bad idea for Fred and answer not to give equity, right, or percentage of revenue.
Yeah.
Was that in general or just specific to their problem?
I rarely find a reason to give revenue away.
Because to me it seemed like, what if we make 50 million, right? But that would be an amazing case, right? Sure, they would have to give, 10% of it away, 5 million, but they get 45. Isn't that a really good scenario if he drives the business to that?
In their case, the person didn't help them to get to the 50 million. So if you help me to get my 5 million business to 50 million, you're the first one who gets percentage. Rarely did I meet a person who did that. Most of the time you just try to give percentage away because you either have no money. Standard for startup owners. Oh yeah, I give my creative director 50%. Yeah, you're an idiot. Most of the time you try to fix money problems with shares. And in this case, I mean, if I would be a growth operator, of course I would try to get percentage. But I'm at the point where I understand that giving I was in situations too many times where we gave percentage away. And at some point, it's like a relationship. Mm-hmm. You have an expectation towards this person. After 3-4 years, you feel like this person is not doing the work that the person should do. And then you call him out, and then you get, it's problems, man. And if you want to fix that with the contract in first place, you don't even get started. So I realized there are always people who say, like, there are two reasons. Either I take no money from you at all, because it's the most healthiest relationship. I operate, either I take money, like, or percentage, or I will never take a euro from him. Never. Because there's no, it sometimes doesn't work. But if I'm in a business, and let's say I do something and it works well, and you come to me saying like, hey, this is really cool, I can help you 10x this, but I only want to do it for a certain percentage, I will probably say, okay, let's do it, but how does the future look like? 5 years, 10 years? Do you get that forever, or only to a certain level? Because I assume things to be successful, and I never understand why I should give percentage away. Me and my business partners, this is probably a different generation, I would have to fight for that, for like, either we decided together in the beginning, but no one that I know would on the way, like in being in the business, say, oh yeah, let's give this employee 10%. We already got to 60,000, let's give 10% away. This is not the standard. This is appealing, like an option for you because you never have experienced the pain of someone really having percentage and getting paid for nothing. Mm-hmm. You don't want that.
It's like negative reinforcement as well. It's like if you give someone it without them deserving it.
And one thing, if I am willing to give 10% away, I need to ask myself if there is maybe another person who's really worth the 10%. Right? And the answer is yes. So I know it's tough sometimes, but I see it this way. I live and die for my business. That's my life. Why should I give 10% away from my life? Sometimes you do business and it's just an opportunity and you do it. If we go in and out quickly for 2-3 years, cash out, exit, okay, cool, we can do that. But for my core business, I would rather die to give percentage away from my really core business. But sometimes it makes sense. So if you're good in what you do, what I think you are, you should try to get percentages. I'm not saying don't try. Try.
Yeah, you should.
But from your own business, don't do it.
I would like to, but also talking from the other point of view, right?
You need to make me feel like I don't want to regret this decision. And every smart person always does the calculation to say, okay, if I give you 10%, couldn't I buy the solution for this problem by myself for less of the price? But most people can't do that because they are broke. But if you have money, you can just make money moves. So before I give 10% to you, I give 500,000 to someone else. Solved. Then it's just a return of invest at some point. Most of the time it's money problems.
We have this like rule of thumb that we learned. This goes for any employee ever. The responsibility comes before the label, and they need to do the responsibilities of the label for 3 months before they get any sort of label. So for example, if it's like a creative director promotion, they're never going to get it because they want it, or they need to do the responsibilities of a creative director before they get it. Because if you give a label before they deserve it, and then you have to take it back, it's so shit for culture. You can't just to demote somebody, and then to bring in somebody else on top of them, and then it just like creates this whole friction in the company of like giving percentages and then having to take it back. Versus like, yet again, if he said, yeah, we obviously went and made you 50 million, add like 50 million and he gets paid out 5, that's probably very fair after. But it's targeted, that's what we talk about incentives for.
And one thing, I just want to make sure that you understand, I would always give away a percentage of gross margin to my team when they hit a goal. It's different, but I would never give 10% lifetime away or something like that. I would always say, if we reach this target, you get this percentage of gross margin. Very important. I would always incentivize my team, but I would not give away like forever shares for no reason. Very important.
Thank you.
Good. Any final cues, or we'll wrap up and go to dinner?
How did you meet him? And how can we meet someone similar?
You see, I have this quote, luck is simply more exposure to chance. But essentially, he had a creative director at the time, and we were posting with A players that we had an event in Marbella last year. And about 2 months before, his creative director reached out to me and was like, we have this guy, Christian, he built the F1 ticketing software, worked with like Mercedes, Bugatti, all these companies. And I was like, why the fuck do you want to talk to me then? Like, that was my first thought. They were like, okay, well, he obviously made all of his money online. It's just starting Instagram. They think it'd be a great opportunity for him to get into the online world by going to like one of our events, the social media, the trust that we give to like a client or whatever it is, the content from the other side of it too. And honestly, before that case, I'd had a lot of like 30, 40-year-olds come to me and like tell me that they've done all these business stuff, and like I'd look into it after experience a call with them and I'd be like, they're just lying. But like with him, I had a first call and I was like, fuck, he's the real deal. And so I think I just got very lucky. I don't know why it happened, but I think that if I was to trace it back to one thing, it would be branding. Like we like branding is everything for us. Like you guys already have the pictures from this event on a G Drive half an hour ago, and they're already uploaded and edited from our editor back home. Like that to me is like brand reputation. I think A players had a very strong brand reputation that could attract someone like him, which I think is the main foundational thing. Then he did the speech. That was your first speech in like the online space, right? Or like
100%.
And he crushed it. Like it was like an hour speech, and everyone was like shaking and like fucking Marbella. They were like, "What the fuck? This is sick." Because he just got real with it. Because I think like obviously a lot of the time I actually said to the A player guys, I was like, if it was just a bunch of 20-year-old guys, we'd be fucked. Because like the blind leading the blind, we haven't a clue. Like we like this month is good. This is a good tactic. Next month is a good tactic. Which you don't know what you're building for. And so I always think it's very important to bring advisors in. So you have like Christian and like 1 or 2 other guys, and they just bring us out and like help us scope out, build foundations, learn the fundamentals of like hiring, leadership, incentives, all these boring stuff that we got to learn. I think it's just been the biggest asset to us, or else it would be. Like imagine I was ending up here teaching you guys about what worked last month. The next month it changes. It's stupid. Like, it's good to learn from people.
And to answer the question, I feel honored to be with him. Like I am waking up being thankful for that, because I have so much respect for what you do. Like I don't do nothing for this event. I always come to the place, it's set up, it's taken care of. It's like he always delivers. And from the day one, the reason why we stayed in contact is I saw him managing the event, like taking care of everything, stuff that people usually don't really see. And I could sense that he's real because he was taking time of it. And let me say it this way, I went to 2 or 3 other member clubs Two, we need to peep that. If I would have gone there first, I would never have continued my online journey. Never. It was so different. Like nothing against the people, but it was so different to what if I would have met that for the first time, I would be like, oh yeah, okay, this is the online space. I would be like, no, thank you. But we really resonated because we are, beside the age, we share the same values, like working at, like everything. The way he just operates in life, from everything around how to treat women, how to work in business, how to manage stuff, and I'm serious. So the question is not like how you can meet someone, it's more like how can you be a person that people want to be with. And it was just his standard, you know. And I would say, we grew together in the last
100%,
year.
Yeah. We actually we pitched a 100K contract together in January. That was sick as fuck.
And I can tell you, like, in 5 years, we will still be together. 1 trillion%. And whatever I do, I always will support him because I'm old school. I love this old school vibe of, we are just gang. You need me, no problem. I can do something for you, no problem. I help him every time I can. I know that I'm going to grow my brand too. And for me, it's always like, I love that kind of, we are a gang. You know, I love to be with the real ones. And I win, he wins. And if he calls me and says, this worked, I'm happy. Get 500 times more. I'm just proud, you know. And I think if you grow together, that's the most beautiful thing that exists. Yeah. And it challenges you. Like, being good at these events, like the first breakout session we had was different to this one. I would argue this one was the best one. From the way we handle it, in terms of providing value, but we share the same approach of always over-delivering. He goes home at night and thinks about what could we do better, so do I. Like, it's just this obsession, I guess. And
you know, I met a guy who used to like work with Tony Robbins, and whenever Tony Robbins finished an event, they get the transcript of the event and every like word they spoke and go through every sentence with the whole team. Like at the night of the event. I didn't know that until like 2 weeks ago. I was like, that's the level of obsession. And if I want to go, the one final thing I'll say before we go for dinner is like, I don't think if I didn't have a big vision, that like I could attract people like Christian into my life, because like, what's the point? Like, you know, if it's for the next event, there's nothing to like buy into, if that makes sense. I think you'll get really good talent of employees, like advisors, clientele, if like your vision is so big. Like, I sat down with my team for like an hour the other day, and I was talking about how we're going to like create a hub in Denmark, because we're going to license like 20% of A players out to like an entrepreneur in Denmark to like run it alongside his business, and same in Sweden, and we're going over to the US and do it in like New York and Miami because we have connections, all this, and they like know like here's the next 10 years and how we're going to fucking execute on it. Like, why wouldn't you buy into that? And like, if there's somebody else, some other members that offers them more money, they're like, for what? Like, so yeah, I think vision is for everything to attract good quality people in your life in general, and a belief in that. So yeah, I think we can wrap it up. We'll go for dinner, but I want to appreciate all of you very, very much for sitting down. I know it's a long day, but we like this like high level business stuff. I fucking love it, like OG Sam Oven stuff. I love it. But yeah, appreciate you all. Hope you got some value from it. Round of applause for Christian as well. So you guys too. Thank you guys. Also a round of applause for the team as well. Yeah, amazing. And we'll go for dinner now.